Comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robeanne Williams.
In Nationwide news at this hour, woman constable wins case against senior officers over viral TikTok video.
The Prime Minister is again sounding the alarm against the threat of misinformation.
2 major communities in Hanover should have electricity restored by this weekend as the JPS ramps up restoration efforts.
Jamaica continues to make strides in the cybersecurity arena.
The police need your help in locating a mother and her young daughter who have been missing for more than a week.
In news from the rest of the world, Venezuelan government says U.S. strike against Maduro killed 47 of its soldiers.
Donald Trump is threatening new tariffs on countries opposed to the Greenland takeover.
In sports, 4 Tokyo World Championship medalists to open their season at GC Foster College on Saturday.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, according to a 2025 cybersecurity report, Jamaica has made several advancements in cybersecurity through policy updates, regional cooperation, and capacity building. We'll get reactions from advisor to the Technology Minister Trevor Forrest, Regional Sales Director at Lemu Technologies Ronald Donaldson, and the Director of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, who would you rank as the best government minister of 2025? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce hosted the official reopening of business shops and kiosks at Border St. Elizabeth. This following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. You'll hear from the Portfolio Minister, Senator Aubin Hill.
And at 8, it's the A-Team with Dennis Brooks.
All these and more as we take you home on air, on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Friday afternoon, our favorite day of the week, Friday, January 16, 2026.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. The Supreme Court has ruled that senior officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF acted outside their legal authority in sanctioning a woman constable twice over her involvement in a social media video while in uniform. The video, which was posted on TikTok in January 2024, was at the time found to be in breach of the JCF's social media policy. The judgment was contained in a formal order issued on Thursday. Robin Williams reports.
This was the viral TikTok post featuring 3 police personnel.
I'm a police officer in Jamaica. Of course, everybody call me Squaddy. I'm a police officer in Jamaica. Of course, me just keep the KFC line. I'm a police officer. Of course, criminal going to escape with nearby bushes. I'm a police officer. Of course, me going to use the siren to come out of traffic.
The 3 police personnel implicated in the viral video pleaded guilty to breaching the JCF's social media policy and bringing the JCF into disrepute during internal hearings held in February and March 2024. Constable Mishka Sterling Gibson was directed to go to the National Police College for a remedial basic training course following the viral video. She was also fined 1 day's pay and was reprimanded. The other 2 police involved accepted similar sanctions, but Constable Sterling Gibson challenged the actions by seeking judicial review, which was granted. The court examined the police service regulations, which limit the powers of senior officers in cases involving minor offenses. Under the regulations, an officer below the rank of commissioner may confine a member to barracks for no more than 3 days. In a judgment delivered by Justice Tanya Mott Tolo Reid, the court found that Deputy Commissioner of Police Richard Stewart unlawfully ordered the constable to undergo months of confinement-style training at the police college. The court also found that then Senior Superintendent, now Assistant Commissioner Michael Phipps, further erred by punishing her again for the same offense at the internal hearing. Justice Tolo Reid held that directing the constable to undergo months of training amounted to disciplinary sanction that far exceeded what the law allows. The judge ruled that the proceedings that led to the decision were disciplinary in character, adding that confinement for several months, whether 4 or 6, was excessive and outside of the ambit of what is permitted under the regulations. The court also found that once Deputy Commissioner Stewart had dealt with the matter, there was no lawful basis for a second punishment. Relying on previous authority, the judge held that the constable could not be sanctioned twice for the same offense. As a result, the court quashed both the decision ordering extended training and the outcome of the internal hearing. It further declared that Constable Sterling Gibson has already served the only lawful sanction arising from the incident and is not liable to any further punishment. Each party was ordered to bear its own costs. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, says he's recovering well after undergoing elective surgery late last year.
I wish to express my deep appreciation to all Jamaicans who have called, both my family and colleagues and friends and the wider public after the mischievous report this morning and social media. I'm fine, recovering well, and in fact on a very good schedule from my doctor at the university.
Dr. Horace Chang. The minister was refuting claims by 2 prominent PMP bloggers that he remained hospitalized. He says he did not suffer a health emergency and such rumors are baseless and fictitious. In a statement, the National Security Ministry says it stands with the government in fighting against the spread of misinformation and disinformation shared with the intent of misleading and distracting the public.
Jamaica Public Service Company JPS customers in Chester Castle and Shuttlewood in Hanover who lost power during Hurricane Melissa should have electricity restored by this weekend. That's according to Energy Minister Darrell Vaz. He toured the communities and other hurricane-ravaged areas in western Jamaica on Thursday.
Hanover was one of the parishes most impacted by Hurricane Melissa in October last year. Some 49,000 JPS customers in the parish remain without electricity. But the Energy Minister says he's pleased to report that customers in Chester Castle and Shuttlewood will have their supply restored shortly.
Obviously, this area was either directly hit or right in the eye of the hurricane, heading back to St. James. They have been without light, and this is absolutely great news and great work by the JPS and the contractors. You're talking about 300 to 400 customers getting back light by weekend. And the best news is that most of the houses here, or a lot of them, have slab roofs, so they will be energized immediately.
Darrell Vaz says over 2,000 additional JPS customers in Hanover have had their electricity restored since his original update at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing.
We are now at 49,000 customers. When I spoke at Postcab yesterday, we were at 51,000. So you can see that progress is being made every day. But most importantly, the target of the remaining 49,000, 28,000 will be brought back on by end of January, first week of February. And we're going to work with the other 21 that are not ready to receive electricity, collaboration between JPS and government to make sure that we can work to try and get everybody up as quickly as possible.
Minister Vaz also toured Catherine Hall and West Green Hills in St. James, where he observed rewiring effort being carried out by JSIF. He says homes in both areas in need of rewiring are expected to be completed by the end of February.
Happy to say that visiting Catherine Hall, 600 out of 800 houses have been rewired, and the other 200 we are working with those households. The value of the contract for Catherine Hall is 238 million Jamaican dollars. And for West Green, we are at 100 out of 400 houses, and we expect to finish up the other 300 by the end of February, and that is at a value of $135 million.
Darrell Vaz.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is once again hitting back at critics of the government's distribution of generators to parishes worst affected by Hurricane Melissa. He was speaking at the official reopening of business shops on the border of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland.
None of the generators that were donated were given to any commercial entity, not one. We took a policy decision that all generators will be given to build resilience in the state. So they were given to the police, to the JDF, to hospitals, to parish council offices, and of course they all have to account for them. But after Hurricane Melissa, we can now say that there are many state entities which didn't have backup power before, that now they have backup power, but they have to do one other thing. They have to now show how they're going to maintain it and put in their budget how it will be replaced when they will inevitably lose their functionality.
The Category 5 system caused widespread loss of electricity in several parishes. As part of its relief efforts, the government announced last year that it would be distributing generators to state entities and emergency services. But the move was heavily criticized by the public. Dr. Holness says small business operators also benefited from the distribution.
There are some people who believe that in a disaster anything goes and we shouldn't apply thought to what we're doing. What we have done is to use those generators to give us a kickstart for resilience building, for business continuity. What we did, however, is to make an allocation from the budget through the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to purchase generators, and those generators were made available to small businesses up on assessment, meaning if you didn't need it, then we didn't give it. What I know is that some persons have put up their hands and said, listen, I no longer need it, come take it, because of the arrangement that was put in place when the generators were given.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says his administration has the challenging task of combating the increasing levels of misinformation in the country.
I have given a directive to the Cabinet Secretary to reduce the number of ceremonies and the extent of ceremonies that we have, because it consumes the effort of the public bureaucracy and staff to be sitting in ceremony for 1 or 2 hours. But increasingly it is becoming important that we have to have these events, we have to have these markers in time for achievement. The truth is that our population is consuming quite a bit of false information. And so the government has to take this kind of forward-facing frontal position to bring information. We almost have to be in your face every day.
Dr. Holness says dispelling misinformation has become a challenge for many global leaders.
When I speak to my CARICOM colleagues, they have the same thing. When I speak to my colleagues and friends in other countries in leadership positions, including prime ministerial and presidential positions, they lament the same thing, that their population is being assaulted by a deluge of falsehoods that changes the public mood and makes it absolutely difficult to govern. A game which does not benefit the country. It may change government, but all it does is make it more difficult for each government to govern.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
A decade after launching its national cybersecurity strategy, Jamaica continues to demonstrate meaningful advances in its cyber framework. That's according to a 2025 cybersecurity report by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and the Organization of American States, OAS. Still, it says structural gaps remain in several areas. Shalois Michael reports.
In its simplest definition, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting digital systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks and unauthorized access. According to the cybersecurity report, Jamaica has made significant strides in that area. It points to the comprehensive national cybersecurity strategy, which was launched in 2015. The strategy aims to fortify cybersecurity by improving public and private sector protections, expand public awareness, and establish a resilient cyberspace for citizens and businesses. The report also highlighted the establishment of the Cyber Incident Response Team JASCERT, which began monitoring cyber threats and guiding responses to incidents, especially in critical infrastructure. It further highlights amendments made to the country's Cybercrimes Act, which now addresses cyberbullying and increasing penalties to deter malicious communications. But despite the much-touted improvements, several gaps remain. The first gap exists in policy and strategy. Jamaica was ranked at level 1 for its cybersecurity in defense and national security. Level 1 means the country was still at a startup stage at the end of 2025. That means there is a lack of intelligence agencies, law enforcement units, or international defense and security alliances. Under the dimension of culture and society, Jamaica was also graded 1 for defamation under the subcategory for trust and confidence in online services. This means that the government, civil society, or non-government actors may lack the tools and resources to address online disinformation. In the category of knowledge and capabilities, the country was ranked 1 in awareness-raising initiatives by private sector and civil society. It was also ranked 1 in cybersecurity research and development. Jamaica was ranked 2 and 3 under all subcategories of the legal and regulatory framework dimension. Level 2 refers to the formative stage, while Level 3 means established. But that trend did not continue under the dimension of standards and technologies. Jamaica was graded 1 under the subcategory of cybersecurity marketplace. This aspect deals with insufficient cybersecurity consultancy services for private and public organizations. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
See twice the style for less at IQ Optical. Buy 1 pair of glasses and get your second and third pair half price. Don't miss out. Call 876-929-7732 or visit IQ Optical today, where clarity never looked sharper.
The time by IQ Optical is
16 minutes after 5.
Termites, rodents, or birds infesting your home or office? Call Rentokil Initial, the pest expert, at 876-926-4236 for a free pest assessment island-wide. The temperature brought to you by Rentokil Initial is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay.
This season is the time. Digicel is gifting smiles. Gift a smile, gift a smile, gift a smile. 64 people to win a grand prize. 250K to help you to gift a smile. Plus groceries and farming supplies. Keep your loved ones in mind. Gift a smile. Sharing the love from me to you. Samsung tablet video and your crew. Gift a smile, gift a smile. This season, make sure everybody good. Digicel is helping you to gift a smile, gift a smile, gift a smile.
Continuing the news, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, in collaboration with the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, on Friday officially launched Jamaica's first ever multidimensional poverty index. Director General of the PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, says the landmark tool will transform how poverty is measured, understood, and addressed across the island. The tool captures the proportion of poor people as well as the intensity of their poverty. Dana Davey reports.
Dr. Wayne Henry says Jamaica's first national MPI provides a comprehensive picture of poverty in the country.
The Multidimensional Poverty Index, or MPI, is an evolution in how we define and address disadvantage. It complements our current monetary measure by not solely capturing what households consume, but what they lack in education, health, living standards, and employment. As articulated by the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, ending poverty in all its forms is a global imperative, and the national MPI reflects the government's commitment to supporting this effort. We aim to leave no one behind and to be data-driven in our approach.
He says it's intended to serve as a foundation for further examination and discourse in the development of policies and programs aimed at reducing poverty and promoting welfare.
Poverty is not reflected in consumption alone. A person may not fall below the consumption threshold, yet still face multiple and overlapping disadvantages, from poor housing and inadequate sanitation to being unemployed or excluded from school. The MPI captures these challenges and helps us make better policy and program decisions to eradicate them. In other words, it enhances our toolkit for planning and sharpens our ability to track development progress.
The concept behind the MPI is that poverty is the result of the sum of different deprivations that affect an individual or household simultaneously. The PIOJ Director General says the index allows the government to identify those different deprivations that normal assessment tools may miss and respond accordingly.
This index allows the government to design and implement appropriate interventions towards those who need them most. It also enables stronger tracking and evaluation of poverty reduction strategies under the National Poverty Reduction Program and supports evidence-based decision-making. Note carefully that the value of the MPI extends much beyond government. Civil society, researchers, and the public now have a tool to better understand the nature and dimensions of deprivation in Jamaica, to advocate more effectively, and to hold systems accountable.
Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
Police in St. Elizabeth are appealing to the public for assistance in locating a mother and her young daughter who have been missing for more than a week. 46-year-old Michelle Allen Rowe and her 4-year-old daughter Sashanique Rowe, both of the Pepper District, Santa Cruz, were last seen on Wednesday, January 7. According to reports from the Santa Cruz Police, about 5 p.m. on that day, Mrs. Allen Rowe was seen wearing a blue blouse and a brown pants, while her daughter was dressed in a brown sweater. They have not been heard from since.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
In regional news, nearly 50 Venezuelan soldiers were among dozens of people killed in the U.S. military operation that toppled former President Nicolas Maduro. That's according to the country's defense ministry in Caracas. Updating the toll from an initial 23, the ministry said 47 soldiers lost their lives in the attack. Of that number, the ministry says 9 were women. The total number of deaths stood at 83. They include 32 Cuban soldiers, some of whom had been assigned to Maduro's protection team. More than 100 people were injured in the assault that began with bombing raids on military targets and culminated with the U.S. Special Forces swooping in by helicopter to seize Maduro and his wife Cilia Flores from a compound.
U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to place tariffs on nations that do not cooperate with his ambitions to annex Greenland. Trump did not say which countries might be hit with new tariffs or what authority he would invoke to use the tariffs. Along with Denmark and Greenland, other countries oppose his ambitions, and many in the U.S. have expressed skepticism about the acquisition. Trump has said Greenland is vital for U.S. security and the U.S. would get it the easy way or the hard way. The U.S. already has more than 100 military personnel permanently stationed at a base in Greenland.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, the Prime Minister is again sounding the alarm against the threat of misinformation.
2 major communities in Hanover should have electricity restored by this weekend as JPS ramps up restoration efforts.
Woman constable wins case against senior officers over viral TikTok video.
The police need your help in locating a mother and her young daughter who have been missing for more than a week.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Roby Ann Williams.
You can find the news on our website at rivernews.ai and on the River News app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. 4 medalists from last year's Tokyo World Championships in Japan will be in action at the J3S Puma Fuller Anderson Track and Field Development Meet at GC Foster College on Saturday. National champion Kishane Thompson, who finished behind Oblique Seville in the 100 meters in Tokyo last summer, will square off with the 200 meters bronze medalist from Tokyo, Brian Lavelle, in the men's 60 meters. Also down for the event is former world 60 meters bronze medalist Akeem Blake, Gary Card, Rohan Watson, and Emmanuel Archibald of Guyana. World 100 meters Olympic finalist Tia Clayton will also be in action along with her Tokyo World Championship relay medalist Janelle Smith. Both are down for the women's 60 meters alongside Natasha Morrison and Serena Cole. 400 meters world junior record holder and national champion Rashawn Clark is also down to run, as well as a former Calabar High School standout DeJour Russell. Jamaica's 24-man national senior football squad, along with interim coach Rudolph Speed and manager Roy Simpson, are now in St. George's ahead of the international friendly against Grenada on Sunday at the Kirani James Stadium. It's set to get underway at 4 o'clock Jamaica time. The squad is traveling in 2 batches. The first, of course, as I mentioned, already in Grenada, and the rest of the staff, the equipment and management staff, they're due to arrive in the Grenadian capital around about 10:30 this evening. The full squad was released on Friday morning, and it shows one newcomer in Nico Brown. Brown, who played for the national under-17 team, is happy with his maiden senior team invite and says preparation heading into the game against Grenada has gone well.
Training has been good this week. It's been a challenging week in terms of, everyone's been working really hard and trying to come together collectively for one goal on Sunday against Grenada. So very exciting to be down here with the group and try to integrate as much as I can, as quickly as I can, and extremely grateful.
Brown, who plays primarily as a winger, now plays forward for Madison Football Club in the USL Championships, of course, that's in the USA. And he says his ability to play multiple positions on the field could add to his value in the national team.
Yeah, I've been usually a winger growing up, and I think that, creates a dynamic defender within me naturally. I think innately I have the ability to go up and down the field and have a lot of energy, and I have good 1v1 ability. So being a winger gave me that skill, and then now at Forward Madison and at Lexington Sporting Club the last 2-3 years, I've been a wing back. So become more versatile in my game, and something that I wish to bring to JFF and the system.
Jamaica's all-schools team will open their campaign at the CASA Youth Football Championships in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Friday evening at 8:30 p.m. They'll take on Techers in the opening game. The Jamaicans, of course, are in Group B, and they'll continue group play on Saturday. They'll take on ESP as they push for a spot in the final. Should they get out of Group B, they'll play the winner of Group A in the final late on Sunday afternoon. The 4-day tournament, which got underway on Thursday, is open to boys aged 15 and 19, and it brings together several top youth teams from in and around the Florida area, providing a highly competitive environment for player development and exposure. Jamaica's team is coached jointly by the winner of the Manning Cup, Keon Broderick from Excelsior, and Omar Rambo Wedderburn of St. Elizabeth Technical High School. And Broderick says the tournament offers valuable competitive games while also serving as a platform for players to showcase their talent in front of coaches and scouts from around the world.
Is for them to get the exposure, for us to network with coach as a coaching staff and management body. But most definitely for them to showcase their talent in a major way where persons can see, and also to display the correct attitude and discipline where persons can see them having an impact on their program, where they can invite them into their schools to be student athletes and for them to make something of themselves while doing that.
Broderick says the players are all fully aware of the opportunities that they have in this particular tournament, and against that background, they're all ready and raring to go.
They're really grateful. They're really excited about the opportunity of representing the country in an all-state competition. They understand that they would have worked really hard to get themselves in this position, and they also understand that this is the reward of the hard work that they would have put out throughout the pre-season and throughout the season, and this is just the pay that they would have received for the hard work.
Yeah, and we close sports at the minute with cricket, and following 2 straight defeats, Jamaica will make a third attempt at getting off the mark. That's getting their first victory. The Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Saturday. The Jamaicans will take on champions Guyana, and that, of course, is the final game of a triple header at Arsvale on Saturday. It gets underway at 6 o'clock Jamaica time, and Jamaica lost its opening games. They lost to the Leeward Islands, and also they lost to Barbados. In the other games on Saturday, the Leeward Islands will battle Trinidad and Tobago in the opening game of the day. That comes their way at about 9:30 in the morning Jamaica time, and then the second game will feature the Barbados team against the Windward Islands, and that game is scheduled to get underway. That's a middle game that's scheduled to get underway at 2:30. Remind you, the Jamaica game is at 6 o'clock. That's the last one, and the first one, the Trinidad and Tobago game against the Leeward Islands, that will get underway at 9:30 in the morning. And that will do it for sports at the moment. We're going to be back though with much, much more in our major sportscast. It comes your way at about 6:05 this evening.
For all your custom framing, printing, graphic design, and purchase of art, Make It Frame Art Jamaica Limited, serving you for over 40 years. The time by Frame Art Jamaica is
5:31.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all schoolers who are taking beats.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the Talk Up You radio show. The voice of the Jamaican youth right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
After a busy week of work and school, come unwind with Jamaica's #1 youth radio show.
We're bringing you entertainment, fun facts, and staying true to youth development and advocacy.
Catch the action each and every Saturday as we roll out buzzy segments. What say you?
Youth for chat,
life skills,
global connect, and bust the youth.
That's the Talk Up Youth radio show, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie.
Talk Up Youth, don't miss it.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Those oldies but goodies reminds me of you.
Tune in to Nationwide at 5 on January 20 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the 21st Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference at the Jamaica Pegasus. Discover opportunities and build connections that shape your future under the theme Capital Markets Fueling Economic Resurgence and Resilience. Hear from Jamaica's Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Finance Minister Fable Williams, and more. Seats are limited, so register now at jamstockx.com or call 876-967-3271. That's the 21st Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference at the Jamaica Pegasus. Tune in to Nationwide at 5, Tuesday, January 20, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or catch our broadcast live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. Keep your station on Nationwide 90 FM. This broadcast is brought to you by the Jamaica Stock Exchange and Jamaica Broilers.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. It's a hopeful Friday. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Professor Donna Hope.
How are you, Prof?
I am lovely and good to see you.
Good.
It's
been a while.
Yes.
All right. So a decade after launching its national cybersecurity strategy, Jamaica continues to demonstrate meaningful advances in its cyber framework. That's according to a 2025 cybersecurity report by the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, and the Organization of American States, OAS.
Still, it says structural gaps remain in several areas. Shalois Michael reports.
In its simplest definition, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting digital systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks and unauthorized access. According to the cybersecurity report, Jamaica has made significant strides in that area. It points to the comprehensive national cybersecurity strategy, which was launched in 2015. The strategy aims to fortify cybersecurity by improving public and private sector protections, expand public awareness, and establish a resilient cyberspace for citizens and businesses. The report also highlighted the establishment of the Cyber Incident Response Team JustCert, which began monitoring cyber threats and guiding responses to incidents, especially in critical infrastructure. It further highlights amendments made to the country's Cybercrimes Act, which now addresses cyberbullying and increasing penalties to deter malicious communications. But despite the much-touted improvements, several gaps remain. The first gap exists in policy and strategy. Jamaica was ranked at level 1 for its cybersecurity in defense and national security. Level 1 means the country was still at a startup stage at the end of 2025. That means there is a lack of intelligence agencies, law enforcement units, or international defense and security alliances. Under the dimension of culture and society, Jamaica was also graded 1 for defamation under the subcategory for trust and confidence in online services. This means that the government, civil society, or non-government actors may lack the tools and resources to address online disinformation. In the category of knowledge and capabilities, the country was ranked 1 in awareness-raising initiatives by private sector and civil society. It was also ranked 1 in cybersecurity research and development. Jamaica was ranked 2 and 3 under all subcategories of the legal and regulatory framework dimension. Level 2 refers to the formative stage, while Level 3 means established. But that trend did not continue under the dimension of standards and technologies. Jamaica was graded 1 under the subcategory of cybersecurity marketplace. This aspect deals with insufficient cybersecurity consultancy services for private and public organizations. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Thanks, Shaloy. Joining us now to discuss, we have with us, who do we have, Prof?
We have advisor to the Minister with responsibility for science, technology, and special projects, Trevor Forrest. We also have the Regional Sales Director of Luma Technologies, Ronald Donaldson, and we have the Director of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks. Good evening, Prof.
To your audience.
Evening, gentlemen.
Yeah. Trevor Forrest, let me start with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Your reaction to this report?
Based on the metrics that were borne out in the report, I think it shows some progress, but there's still a whole lot of work to be done. So there are some things that were not surprising, but I will say this, based on where we are now, I think we're in a good position to build on what we need to do. But most importantly, and I'm probably going to sound like a broken record throughout discussions like this, is there is need for a cohesive approach to treating with our cybersecurity posture, in light of the fact that we are fiercely moving to digitally transform all facets of our country, our government, our public and private sector. If we don't have a cohesive approach to understanding how securing ourselves in a digital age and a digital realm must be done, we're going to find ourselves in some serious problems. The good news is that this is recognized by the government, and what you will see in short order is some initiatives to build on what we're seeing now. This report was very useful, very timely, very instructive, because it gives the impetus for some action to be taken.
Ronald Donaldson, how about you?
I don't think I have to reiterate the points that Trevor made, but I would say that one thing that caught my attention was the point raised about the lack of or not enough consultancy services with regard to cybersecurity. That actually caught me by surprise. I don't think I necessarily agree there, but I'd love to understand, what information they use to determine that. I would say, though, having practiced locally and regionally, I would say that there may be some resistance to what I'd call local talent, and the latency maybe because firms are looking for and waiting on talent from overseas. But I would dare say that there is a significant amount of local talent here that have been upskilled and are able to provide guidance where needed.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask you, Ronald, because as I read it, I was wondering to myself, have we gotten to the stage yet where our cyber security professionals are on par with what we see internationally?
So it's mixed, right? I mean, just internationally, I guess we may be comparing it to some of the multinationals, right? And that may be an unfair comparison in totality, but there are individual entities here that are definitely on par. And again, we're not comparing, equipment production or anything. We're talking about expertise and understanding the space.
Right.
Yeah, you have people here who are on par and some who are actually, I would say, they're surpassed what some of the multinationals are offering. And I'm saying that because the multinationals are actively recruiting, right? So you wouldn't be recruiting if the talent was domiciled in where you were. So I'm curious to see what was the information behind that, but I would say that there is the talent and the expertise here. It does exist, and it's not a minute number. There is enough resources here to actually satisfy the market, in my opinion.
Okay, and I think we need to bring in the director of JASERT because he has been working, coming out of what were the recommendations. Lieutenant Colonel Sterling, from your own role in JASERT and what you have been dealing with, how do you think Jamaica's response to the need to have these cybersecurity methods put in place? What are the how well coordinated do you think we are with some of what needs to be done across the different areas, the ministries, and the different parts of the network?
Yeah. Lieutenant Colonel Akita, stay that after the break,
yes,
please.
We have to go to
we're
break.
up on a break.
Yes.
Order Pizza Hut online at pizzahutjamaica.com or through WhatsApp at 876-837-4488. Pizza Hut, now that's delivery. The time by Pizza Hut is...
It's 15 minutes to 6.
This season is the time. Digital is gifting smiles. Gift a smile, gift a smile, gift a smile. 64 people to win a grand prize. 250K to help you to gift a smile. Plus groceries and farming supplies. Keep your loved ones in mind. Gift a smile. Sharing the love from me to you. Samsung tablet video and your crew. Gift a smile, gift a smile. This season, make sure everybody good. Digital is helping you to gift a smile, gift a smile, gift a smile.
And we're back with you nationwide at 5, and of course we are talking about the cybersecurity the cybersecurity report that was released 2025, released by the IADB and the OAS, and looking at Jamaica's own structure and what have been the kind of markers and the kind of structural gaps that have been identified in this report. Talking with Trevor Forrest, the advisor to the Minister of Responsibility for Science, Technology and Special Projects, the Regional Sales Director of Luma Technologies, Ronald Donaldson, and the Director of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling. And before the break, Ricardo and gentlemen, I'd asked Lieutenant Colonel Sterling from his role in JASERT to give us some kind of updates regarding what may be needed or what has been done and what may be needed moving forward, because of course what we see coming out in this report. Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling.
Right, thank you, Prof. So when we look at what has been said by Trevor and Ronald, and both are critical players in the ecosystem, we have to recognize that the report is not a snapshot, but really a tracking of what has happened. And if you look at how the tables are laid out, they compare the scores from 2016 through 2025, this being the third of this report that has been published. In terms of the coordination within Jamaica, one of the challenges that currently exists is that we talk about cybersecurity, but by and large, when you look, for example, at the private sector, many of the entities are medium, small, and micro enterprises who really do not have organic cybersecurity, and oftentimes there is that organizational resistance to inputting cybersecurity practices or even raising cyber hygiene. And that is notwithstanding the efforts from the government standpoint as a facilitator. Mm-hmm. When you replay what Trevor said, in terms of the positioning of this report and how timely it is and the initiatives that are on the board, the government recognized the challenges. And so there are initiatives that are currently underway and some are on the drawing board. We would have done the first strategy in 2015, but the times have changed. Mm-hmm. And so we are far advanced with a new strategy that will take us for the next 4 to 5 years. The matter of the legal and regulatory standpoint, yes, we've had a Cybercrimes Act from 2010, and we've just gone through the legislation committee with the proposed amendments to the review of the 2015 edition. Yes. But what you find is that even when cyber crimes, whether cyber-enabled or cyber-dependent crimes were committed, that act is not really what is used to charge persons. Other substantive legislations are used. So the act isn't really exercised to see whether or not it is reaping the benefits that were intended, or that it is standing the test of the judicial process. And then we get to the talent pipeline. Now, there is a lot being said when other international bodies look at talent in terms of vacancies that exist and the ability to fill them. The challenge we have is that while we have universities that turn out persons with cybersecurity skills and persons who do certification courses, many businesses and most of government does not have cybersecurity positions on their establishment. And so what you find is that the bigger companies, the Fortinets, etc., are able to get some of the consultancies that really ought to go to local persons in positions in these entities. But those positions don't exist. And so because they already have a relationship from an IT or other security service provision, moving to cybersecurity is really a simple step. As opposed to the homegrown talent, which when you look at the companies that provide cybersecurity services in Jamaica, there are very few. And these few, they are not very established. And so to break into the market, so when you have a Fortinet that has been providing firewalls over time, there is a relationship that is developed between the client and the supplier. And when they say, look, we will do your cybersecurity, it's an easier sell than a local company trying to say, look, we have trained people, we have the talent, we are here to provide the same services, and we keep your data here. So even that becomes a difficulty. And when we bring it all together, that organizational inertia within the private sector, the slow pace of legislative development within government, when you bring all of that together, what we are facing is really an inability sometimes to get these companies to understand that the cost of a cyber breach is much more than any amount of money you will invest in cybersecurity.
To protect the infrastructure.
Exactly. And so we have to make that step. And that is where we are at now. So the initiatives that Trevor spoke about are coming on stream starting this year and will run going forward. But it requires that all of society approach. We recognize that we need to create a talent pipeline. We're fixing that.
Yeah.
We recognize that. Go ahead, man.
No, continue. Yes.
We recognize that we need to have depth in terms of resilience. We're treating with that. One of the lowest scores we got was for defense and national security.
And I was about to raise that next because that jumped out at me.
Right. The Jamaica defense, the way cyber is broken into Jamaica, you have cyber defense, cyber security, and law enforcement. The Jamaica Defense Force is way advanced with the defense cybersecurity strategy. They would have completed standing up their security operations center on December 31 last year. And that is aligned with the national direction, with the national cybersecurity strategy that will soon be promulgated, the amendments to the Cybercrimes Act that will soon be tabled in the House, as well as the building and the enhancement of the capacity of the CERT to treat with the increased reliance on digital technology. So there is a lot happening. What we're not seeing is this push by government being matched by the private sector in terms of the adoption of cybersecurity best practices, or the institutions, the educational institutions in terms of that collaboration with industry to turn out industry-ready professionals that can be employed out of school essentially and not have to go through a very significant learning process to become functional in the workplace.
So Trevor, then I suppose my next question would be, what does that mean for how we are advancing as a country in this area? If Lieutenant Colonel, as he says, the urgency is not being matched where it needs to be matched. What does that mean about how we are advancing?
And again, as I said before, and you have heard Godfrey reiterate it, there is a need for a cohesive approach. Public sector, private sector, academia, civil society, as it relates to building awareness and appreciation for what cybersecurity and defense is about. Because one of the things that I feel is a major issue, and I'm speaking from both perspectives as as a practitioner in the space, but also in an advisory role, is that while government and certain institutions, perhaps in the financial sector, take certain steps to enhance their cybersecurity posture, not everybody fully appreciates the importance of it. Right? So when you talk about things like protecting critical infrastructure, right, and by that I mean in today's day and age, if a cyber attack was conducted against a JPS or an NWC, the impact that has on everybody, the country, the people, the economy, cannot be quantified, right? And until there's an appreciation, because listen, everybody knows what the cost
can I interrupt you there for a second, Trevor? Because I'm wondering to myself, I hear Lieutenant Colonel that the cost of the attack would far outstrip anything that you'd pay to reinforce or secure it. But is the cost though? Would you concede that the cost in the initial stages or at the top end is prohibitive? Is that perhaps why these private companies are not moving in that direction?
It doesn't have to be, but it is because of a lack of awareness. It's a multifaceted problem, but there's a lack of awareness and understanding of what is required and what is available to protect you, right? So when you see that there is a deficiency, as the report would say, of consulting services.
Yes,
that is to me, and I know Ron was questioning, but when you think about it, the number of consulting firms that are dedicated to cybersecurity are few, and what that does is it creates the opportunity for certain types of agendas to play out, and it never always works to the betterment of the end user. So one of the things we have to do is, through awareness, we have to make people better understand why this thing is important, but also that it don't have to break your pocket.
But Trevor Forrest, listening to Lieutenant Colonel Sterling and also Ronald Donaldson talking about the personnel, the need for certain types of personnel, but also you bringing up again and reiterating the need for the kind of awareness. And I'm looking at culture, so that's in it, the cultural awareness. We hear about major cybersecurity breaches outside of Jamaica, and we say, but is it that there is the Ministry for Science and Technology, is it that the ministry is going to have to do a bigger push?
Yeah, because I was about to ask, whose job is it to educate?
But that is where I see that does the ministry have a plan to do some kind of push into the private sector, into medium and small enterprises, not just the public sector, about the importance of protecting your entities and therefore opening up opportunities for personnel, students from my university, West Indies and elsewhere, who are being trained and who could fit into some of these opportunities that would then be created?
Absolutely, but it is not only the job of the government through the ministry to do that, because again, everybody plays a role in getting to where we need to get to, right? So it's like many businesses would say that cybersecurity is an IT problem, but it's not an IT problem. Everybody plays a role in ensuring that a company maintains its secure posture. Similarly, when you take it to a national level, everybody, government, private sector, and academia, and everybody plays a role. Now, what we have to do, which I will say we haven't done a really good job of, is to make cybersecurity part of like a national DNA, right? a national consciousness, because the only time we start to think about cybersecurity is when we hear words like scamming, or when we hear that this data has been stolen, or
a particular bank has been breached.
Somebody lost money.
Yes.
But we cannot limit it to just those instances. It has to be something that is part of our everyday awareness and functioning. And I think we need to do some work on that, and I dare say some initiatives are coming that we we'll push that forward, but it requires a cohesive approach. Government alone can't do it.
Yeah. Gentlemen, we have to continue this conversation because I'm particularly interested in the amendments to the Cyber Crimes Act. I did hear the minister talking about encompassing the threat from AI in those amendments. So Trevor Forrest, Ronald Donaldson, Godfrey Sterling, we're going to have to continue these conversations. Thank you all so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes.
The headlines are next.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is...
A minute after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. The Supreme Court has ruled that senior officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, acted outside their legal powers in sanctioning a woman constable twice over her involvement in a social media video while in uniform. The video, which was posted on TikTok in January 2024, was at the time found to be in breach of the JCF's social media policy. The judgment was contained in a formal order issued on Thursday. Constable Mishka Sterling Gibson was directed to go to the National Police College for a remedial basic training course following the viral video. She was also fined 1 day's pay and was reprimanded. The other two police involved accepted similar sanctions, but Constable Sterling Gibson challenged the actions by seeking judicial review, which was granted. The court examined the police service regulations which limit the powers of senior officers in cases involving minor offenses. Under the regulations, an officer below the rank of commissioner may confine a member to barracks for no more than 3 days. In a judgment delivered by Justice Tanya Mott Toller-Reid, the court found that Deputy Commissioner of Police Richard Stewart unlawfully ordered the constable to undergo months of confinement-style training at the police college. The court also found that then Senior Superintendent, now Assistant Commissioner Michael Phipps, further erred by punishing her again for the same offense at the internal hearing. Minister of National Security and Peace Dr. Horace Chang says he's recovering well after undergoing elective surgery late last year.
I wish to express my deep appreciation to all Jamaicans who have called, both my family and colleagues and friends and the wider public, after the mischievous report this morning and social media. I'm fine, recovering well, and in fact on a very good schedule from my doctor at the university.
Dr. Horace Chang, Deputy Prime Minister and National Security Minister. The minister was refuting claims that he remains hospitalized. He says he did not suffer a health emergency and such rumors are baseless and fictitious. In a statement, the National Security Ministry says it stands with the government in fighting against the spread of misinformation and disinformation shared with the intent of misleading and distracting the public. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is once again hitting back at critics of the government's distribution of generators to parishes worst affected by Hurricane Melissa. He was speaking at the official reopening of business shops on the border of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland.
None of the generators that were donated were given to any commercial entity, not one. We took a policy decision that all generators will be given to build resilience in the state. So they were given to the police, to the JDF, to hospitals, to parish council offices, and of course they all have to account for them. But after Hurricane Melissa, we can now say that there are many state entities which didn't have backup power before, that now they have backup power, but they have to do one other thing. They have to now show how they're going to maintain it and put in their budget how it will be replaced when they will inevitably lose their functionality.
The Category 5 system caused widespread loss of electricity in several parishes. As part of its relief efforts, the government announced last year that it would be distributing generators to state entities and emergency services. But the move was heavily criticized by the public. Dr. Holness says small business operators also benefited from the distribution.
There are some people who believe that in a disaster anything goes and we shouldn't apply thought to what we are doing. What we have done is to use those generators to give us a kickstart for resilience building, for business continuity. What we did, however, is to make an allocation from the budget through the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to purchase generators, and those generators were made available to small businesses up on assessment, meaning if you didn't need it, then we didn't give it. What I know is that some persons have put up their hands and said, listen, I no longer need it, come take it, because of the arrangement that was put in place when the generators were given.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Jamaica Public Service Company JPS customers in Chester Castland Shuttlewood in Hanover who lost power during Hurricane Melissa should have electricity restored by this weekend. Some 49,000 JPS customers in the parish remain without electricity, but Energy Minister Darrell Vaz says he's pleased to report that customers in those communities will have their supply restored shortly.
Obviously, this area was either directly hit or right in the eye of the hurricane, heading back to St. James. They have been without light, and this is absolutely great news and great work by the JPS and the contractors. You're talking about 300 to 400 customers getting back light by weekend. And the best news is that most of the houses here, or a lot of them, have slab roofs, so they will be energized immediately.
Minister Vaz says over 2,000 additional JPS customers in Hanover have had their electricity restored since his original update at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing.
We are now at 49,000 customers. When I spoke at Postcab yesterday, we were at 51,000. So you can see that progress is being made every day. But most importantly, the target of the remaining 49,000, 28,000 will be brought back on by end of January, first week of February. And we're going to work with the other 21 that are not ready to receive electricity, between collaboration between JPS and government, to make sure that we can work to try and get everybody up as quickly as possible.
Darrell Vaz, Minister of Energy. A decade after launching its national cybersecurity strategy, Jamaica continues to demonstrate meaningful advances in its cyber framework. That's according to a 2025 cybersecurity report by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and the Organization of American States, OAS. The report also highlighted the establishment of the Cyber Incident Response Team, JASCERT, which began monitoring cyber threats and guiding responses to incidents, especially in critical infrastructure. It further highlights amendments made to the country's Cyber Crimes Act, which now addresses cyberbullying and increasing penalties to deter malicious communications. But despite the much-touted improvements, several gaps remain. The first gap exists in policy and strategy. Jamaica was ranked at level 1 for its cybersecurity in defense and national security. Level 1 means the country was still at a startup stage at the end of 2025. That means there's a lack of intelligence agencies, law enforcement units, or international defense and security alliances. Under the dimension of culture and society, Jamaica was also graded 1 for defamation under the subcategory for trust and confidence in online services. This means that the government, civil society, or non-government actors may lack the tools and resources needed to address online disinformation. Those are the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Sports is next.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Good evening with your sports report. I'm Alric Swaby. We start with track and field as 4 medalists from last year's Tokyo World Championships in Japan will be in action at the J3A's Puma Fuller Anderson Development Track and Field Meet at G.C. Foster College on Saturday. National champion Kishane Thompson, who finished behind Oblique Seville in the 100 meters in Tokyo last summer, will square off with the 200 meters bronze medalist from Tokyo, Brian Lavelle, in the men's 60 meters. Also down for the event is former world 60 meters bronze medalist Akeem Blake, Gary Card, Rowan Watson, and Emmanuel Archibald of Guyana. Olympic 100 meters finalist Jake Clayton will also be in action, along with her Tokyo World Championship relay medalist Janelle Smith. Both are down for the women's 60 meters alongside Natasha Morrison and Serena Cole. 400 meters world junior record holder and national champion Roshane Clark is also entered, as well as former Calabar High School standout DeJoy Russell. Now, veteran high school track and field coaches Michael Dyke of Edwin Allen, Dwayne Johnson of Jamaica College, and Michael Carr of Wolmer's Girls are in support of the decision by organizers of the Gibson McCook Relays to restructure the long-standing meet, except they have one major concern: the selection process. The organizers have adopted a shortened finals-only format. The trio say that while they understand the need for change and evaluation in one of the country's most historic meets, clarity is still needed on how schools will now be chosen for participation. Dyke, who has guided Edwin Allen to multiple championships, says the lack of information surrounding selection is troubling.
It is even challenging to use this year's meet because you don't have much relay meet to select from. So I think they might just go with tradition, the traditional teams that would have been doing well at Gibson over the years, last year results, I don't know. But
Johnson also acknowledged the broader impact of the restructuring, pointing out that if it may encourage innovation across the local track and field calendar.
For the world-class meet this weekend, we have included the 4x4. And for Sprint Fest 100, we have included the 4x1s. So, meet organizers, they know the pinch that you are in. I mean, and Gibson is a pinnacle of all the meets. And if they can't get the funding, they can't be able to fund the meet. Man, we know how it is for us, the small organizers.
However, Carr warned that the new format could create logistical challenges for some institutions, particularly those still seeking opportunities to qualify for the ISA Boys and Girls Championships.
Considering that champs is a qualifying meet in terms of numbers and times, how many meets will there be to get that qualification in? So it's going to be a challenge. It is going to put a lot of schools in position that they have to go other places and do more meets than they would normally do. It's a challenge, but let's see how it works out eventually over time. It's just a selection process again of which teams or which schools they are going to invite to the championship.
Michael Carr. Now, President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Christopher Samuda, says the introduction of anti-doping policing at ports of entry for the Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games comes as no surprise. Samuda says the move reflects growing global tension around sports integrity, fueled by the emergence of the enhanced games, public dispute between the World Anti-Doping Agency and the national bodies, and increasing debates around safe sports and safeguarding policies.
Going forward, I believe sport will become more regulated in an effort to remain, as far as possible, clean and to remain in step with, or rather ahead of, medical and technological inventions that mask infractions and unfair practices. If the Winter Games have it, then really, the heat more than likely will be on at the Summer Games in LA 2028.
While acknowledging that some athletes may see the measures by the International Testing Agency as intrusive, Samuda argues they are necessary.
If there is a mischief which poses a risk, then it has to be cauterized. And also, if you are clean, you will not find it unfriendly or unpleasant, but rather you will find it to be proof positive that you have passed the integrity test with flying colors.
Christopher Samuda. Now to football, as Jamaica's 24-man national senior football squad, along with interim head coach Rudolph Speed and manager Roy Simpson, landed in St. George's on Friday afternoon ahead of Sunday's international friendly against Grenada at the Kiwana James Stadium at 4 p.m. Jamaica time. The squad is traveling in 2 batches with the rest of the management and equipment staff set to arrive at 10:30 p.m. The full squad was released on Friday morning, and it includes one newcomer in Nico Brown. Brown, who played for the national under-17 team, is happy with his maiden senior team invite and say preparation leading up to the fixture has gone well.
And training has been good this week. It's been a challenging week in terms of, everyone's been working really hard and trying to come together collectively for one goal on Sunday against Grenada. So very exciting to be down here with the group and try to integrate as much as I can, as quickly as I can, and extremely grateful.
Brown, who primarily plays as a winger, currently plays for Forward Madison Football Club in the USL Championships. Brown says his ability to play multiple positions will add to his value in the team.
Yeah, I've been usually a winger growing up, and I think that, creates a dynamic defender within me naturally. I think innately I have the ability to go up and down the field and have a lot of energy, and I have good 1v1 ability. So being a winger gave me that skill, and then now at Forward Madison and at Lexington Sporting Club the last 2-3 years, I've been a wing back. So become more versatile in my game, and something that I wish to bring to JFF and the system.
Nico Brown. Now, Jamaica's all-school football team will begin its campaign at the Casa Under-19 football tournament when they face Techers in their opening Group B match on Friday in Fort Lauderdale starting at 8:30. The Jamaicans will continue group play on Saturday against ESP as they push for a spot in the final. Should they top Group B, Jamaica will advance to Sunday's final where they will meet with winners of Group A. The 4-day tournament, which got underway on Thursday, is open to boys between the ages of 15 and 19 and brings together several top youth teams, providing a highly competitive environment for player development and exposure. Jamaica's team is jointly coached by Excelsior High's Keon Broderick and Omar Wedderburn of Steds. Broderick says the tournament offers valuable competitive matches while also serving as a platform for players to showcase their talents in front of coaches and scouts.
Is for them to get the exposure for us to network with coach as a coaching staff and management body. But most definitely for them to showcase their talent in a major way where persons can see, and also to display the correct attitude and discipline where persons can see them having an impact on their program where they can invite them into their schools to be student athletes and for them to make something of themselves while doing that.
Broderick says the players are fully aware of the opportunities that come with participating in the tournament and are motivated to make the most of the exposure as they seek to advance their football careers.
They're really grateful. They're really excited about the opportunity of representing the country in an all-school competition. They understand that they would have worked really hard to get themselves in this position, and they also understand that this is the reward of the hard work that they would have put out throughout the pre-season and throughout the season, and this is just the pay that they would have received for the hard work.
Keon Broderick. Now to cricket, as following 2 straight defeats, Jamaica will make a 3rd attempt at their first victory in the regional women's T20 Blaze in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Saturday. The Jamaican women will face defending champions Guyana in the final game of a triple header at Ernest Vale starting at 7:30 p.m. Jamaica time. Jamaica lost its opening 2 games to the Leeward Islands and Barbados. In other games, the Leeward will battle Trinidad and Tobago at 9:30 a.m. and Barbados against the Windward Islands at 2:30 p.m. The West Indies head coach Darren Sammy says the upcoming 3-match T20 International Series against Afghanistan will play a critical role in the team's preparation for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, which begins on February 7. With 15 of the 16 squad members already assembled in Dubai, the Caribbean side will have their first training session on Saturday, while opener Johnson Charles is expected to arrive on the same day to complete the group. According to Sammy, the central theme of the series will be rule execution.
The key for us is role execution, especially focusing on the guys who probably would be in the World Cup squad, making sure they fine-tune their roles. I mean, we've been trying to do that over the last 2 years, and I think some of the players that we have, they've grabbed onto the roles. Some still probably need to fine-tune that, but that's what these games bring. Obviously the main objective is to win, but for me and the group is to more define or solidify the roles in heading into the World Cup.
The former West Indies captain will be without several established players for the Afghanistan series, but he views their absence as an opportunity rather than a setback. With the final World Cup squad set to be announced ahead of the 3-match T20 series against South Africa, Sammy believes the upcoming fixtures provide a crucial audition window for fringe players.
I think it's a great opportunity for guys, some of the young players that we have here, fringe players, to start building for the future, and also those who are here that will be in the World Cup squad. Good preparation, especially against Afghanistan, a very, very strong team in conditions similar to India. So I'm looking forward to start the year and hopefully gather some momentum, even though all our players are not on deck, but gather some momentum leading into the World Cup.
Darren Sammy. The veteran cricket commentator Joseph Rez Pereira has warned that the West Indies under-19 cricket team will need to make improvement with both bat and ball if they are to secure back-to-back victories in the ICC Youth World Cup currently being staged in Namibia and Zimbabwe. The young West Indians are coming off a 5-wicket win over Tanzania in their tournament opener, but Pereira believes that performance will not be sufficient when they face a much sterner challenge in Afghanistan on Sunday. Pereira noted that while the result was positive, there were clear areas of concern.
The West Indies will have a much more competitive game. They'll have to work very, very hard. There are a lot of questions to be answered. They would have looked at the footage of the Afghan batting, but they will have to improve their overall bowling and batting. The batting will certainly be tested. This might be a battle of batsmen. And after the Afghan game, they played South Africa, who will want to rebound after losing to the Afghan. So the next 2 games will depend whether the West Indies will get into the further competitive part of the competition.
Joseph Rez Pereira. And finally, former West Indies limited overs captain Dwayne Bravo explained that in order for the Caribbean team to be competitive in the upcoming T20 World Cup, the bowling department will be crucial towards any success that they will have. According to Bravo, based on his experience, a lengthy batting lineup will only spell trouble for the Shea Hope-led team.
West Indies have the last World Cup and Puran, Hetmeyer, Rutherford, Russell, Rovman Powell, Shepherd, Hope. They had one of the longest batting lineup in the last World Cup. Strongest batting lineup in the last World Cup. And in series before that they had. But you know why they were struggling? Because they had batsmen all the way down to number 9, number 10, but they are no bowling. So teams will make, I say Rovman, if you make 220, England will chase it down, Australia will chase it down, South Africa will chase it down.
For Bravo, he believes not enough emphasis has been placed on ensuring that sufficient quality bowlers are listed in the playing 11 in order to combat the stronger batting of the better playing nations around the world.
Like, I have a template, and every team that I involve in, they know that template. The first 4 overs, we try to get wickets. If we get wickets, then the 5th and 6th, we continue to look for wickets. If we don't get wickets in that first 3-4 overs, then the next 2 overs in power play become defensive. Shut down overs, come out of the power play, 45, 50, no problem. You don't want to come out of the power play with this team 60, 70. Then you're under pressure for the entire game, right?
The T20 World Cup is scheduled to run from February 7 to March 8 and will be hosted by India and Sri Lanka. I'm Alex Swiby, and that's your sports.
Yo, check this out. This is Ding Dong Ravers, one of your patrons for the Sagicor Sigma Run 2026. And this year, we are bringing out the best as we run, walk, and wheel for the West.
Hi, this is Lisa Hanno, and I'm proud to be a patron for this run in aid of funds to repair and rebuild schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa.
Hey, Public Civil here. I spent my whole life trying to break records, but this record is going to be special.
We're aiming to raise a record $150 million for children in the West.
Well, everybody come jump up, lace up, wheel up. Donate some money, everybody sign up. We are run for the West.
Sign up now at SagicorSigmaRun.com.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care. January is Earthquake Awareness Month.
We're having an earthquake.
And Nationwide 90 FM is shaking things up in a powerful way.
Oh, God.
All month long, NNN is rolling out earthquake awareness segments in Nationwide This Morning, Cliffviews Online, E-Zone, and Nationwide at 5. We're turning vital safety information into must-hear radio, debunking myths, and giving you tips from experts that can help to save lives. We are bring preparedness straight to the people. Yeah, man, I hate that. We're here to inform, educate, and empower Jamaicans to stay ready, stay alert, and stay safe. Because when the ground moves, knowledge matters. Never lose your cool again when an earthquake hits. Tune in to Nationwide This Morning, Cliffviews Online, E-Zone, and Nationwide at 5 to learn, prepare, and protect what matters most.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, everybody. It's that time. Welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Special good evening to our YouTubers, our good friends over on YouTube. We invite you also to weigh in live in the comment section. On today's Public Opinion, it's a Friday, the last day of the week, the last day of writing news for the week. Couldn't come soon enough. Anyways, folks, last week we asked you to tell us who you thought was the best opposition spokesperson of 2025. So now we're going to give you the opposite question. We're going to make you answer the opposite question. Last week we did opposition spokesperson, and as promised this week, we're going to the other side of the political divide in Public Opinion. In this evening, 1 week later, we're asking you, who would you rank as the best government minister of 2025? So without further ado, let's check what the people say. We're going to go over onto Instagram first and see what we got over there. So we asked the folks over on Instagram, folks, who do you think was the best government minister of 2025? Let's take a look at the responses. We have 27. Let's go through them. Shamar2597 says, I would have to say the Minister of Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Honorable Darrell Vaz, and then the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green. Blessed 876 says 1 Mr. Vaz. Chris Duncan says Horace Chang, final answer. Alicia Achiever says Daryl Vaz is worthy of this recognition. Economics is my politics, says the Prime Minister. Senpai Akihiko says Minister Vaz. I am Scorpio Nov says Horace Chang without a doubt. Mr. Stepper says Daryl Vaz hands down. Will Ryan Wilson says it's hard to pick one, so I would give it to Daryl Vaz, Dr. Chang, and Floyd Green. Rodney Sanya Johnson says Daryl Vaz. Antoinette Sang says couple. Horace Chang, since crimes are down, he gets the credit. He also lists Dr. Tufton, Daryl Vaz, Floyd Green, and Ed Bartlett for keeping the tourism product alive. We got Nicole Gale who says Minister Vaz and Minister Green. Lovely Bloomke says Dr. Horace Chang. R stands for says Daryl Vaz, Horace Chang, Ed Bartlett. York Rich says Dr. Christopher Tufton. G Money says Floyd Green. Avia Peng says I have to name more than one as best minister for 2025, but in their own rights, Daryl Vaz, Horace Chang, Floyd Green, Ed Bartlett. I hit right, Dessa. Bossy says one prime minister any day, every day. There we go, folks. Avia Peng says Daryl Vaz, Horace Chang, Floyd Green, Matthew Samuda, and Ed Bartlett. And there we have it. So that's what we have so far over on Instagram. What says X? When we go over to X, what do folks say? Who do folks on X think was the best government minister of 2025? So when we go over to X, we have a couple answers here. Let's go through them. Lorraine Young. Lorraine Young says it's Dr. Horace Chang by far. Let me pull up the YouTube chat real quick so that I'm not out of the loop when we get there. I'm already seeing a number of people saying it's Dr. Horace Chang. There's a lot of Dr. Horace Changs in the YouTube chat. I'm also seeing someone say Matthew Samuda, who we actually had on the E-Zone not too long ago this afternoon. We got, I give it to Honorable Daryl Vaz, bus after bus. Jenny Amos says Daryl Vaz, Horace Chang, Matthew Samuda, and Floyd Green. Ermin Hyatt says Daryl Vaz, bus after bus, then Dr. Chang. We got here Ed Bartlett, Horace Chang, Daryl Vaz, Matthew Samuda, and then Prime Minister, says Ina Brown. MDL says Dr. Horace Chang, and very close second is Daryl Vaz. Oscar Minot says holding JPS by the horns and bus after bus, it gots to be Daryl Vaz. David Nabar says it's one Prime Minister. David Nabar says Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness was the best government minister of 2025. Beverly Ricketts says Mahiri, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Health, the Minister of National Security, and Minister Vaz. There we go. Eva Bless says first Daryl Vaz, second Dr. Horace Chang, third Matthew Samuda. There we go. Every MP in the government says Sharon Bless. Okay. What else we have here? One Dr. Chang says Calvin Daly. Dr. Horace Chang says Dennis Walters. Bertie says one Daryl Vaz. So it seems as though those two are neck and neck. But what we're going to use to break the tie, it looks like it's half saying Vaz, half saying Chang, and then there's a group in the middle saying both. So I don't know, man. It looks like those two are in the running with, I guess, Floyd Green, Matthew Samuda, and Ed Bartlett vying for third, but those two seem to be leading the standings right now. Let's go over to Facebook to see if we can find a way to break the tie. So we go over to Nationwide 90 FM on good old Facebook, and let's see if we can break the tie using the answers. There, we got 29. Let's go through them. The National Security Minister says Clifton Russell. Marianne Harriet says the entire cabinet. Sansi says Dr. Chang, then Minister Vaz, then Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. Carlington Bartley says Minister of National Security. Neville 152 says fast finishing Daryl Vaz over Horace Chang. Jesse Hall says Dr. Horace Chang. Philip Jackson says Dr. Chang. Nicola Nicholson says Dr. Chang, Minister Vaz, Minister Samuda, Minister Bartlett, then Minister Green. Robert Ranger says Daryl Vaz and Horace Chang, as does Audley Nain. Pamela Bennett says Dr. Chang and Minister Vaz. George Elliott says Minister Vaz straight. Rural school bus system, and JPS put him up there. It's a tie for Daryl Vaz and Dr. Chang, says Rhonda Petgrave. UN Pamela says Dr. Andrew Holness, Dr. Horace Chang, Minister Vaz. Ed Barley, and Pernell Charles Jr. It's hard to find one. Someone says PM, then Deputy PM, then Minister of Transport, then somebody else says Security Minister. How do we go, man? How do we do this? I don't know, man. I think it's Chang. You guys think Dr. Chang has edged out Minister Vaz for the win? You think... How do we... I think it's Dr. Chang, man. I think Dr. Chang wins. It was close between him and Minister Vaz, but it looks like... I'm seeing the majority saying Dr. Horace Chang. So it looks like Dr. Horace Chang is the winner of public opinion. You can't really win public opinion, can you? But it seems that the public, or majority of our public, says Dr. Horace Chang is the Minister of the Year. He gets our Minister of the Year award for 2025. Very close, Doctor. Very close, Minister Vaz. You tried, but you're up there. You gave Dr. Chang a good fight. So there we have it, folks. That's public opinion for this evening. Thank you, as always, for participating. And now it's time for the business report.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, industrial automation and control solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is...
It's 6:35. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Dollar Financial Services Limited has announced that its public bond offering has been oversubscribed. Accordingly, the company's board of directors closed the offering on January 9, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. The basis of allotment of the bonds will be published on the Jamaica Stock Exchange's website at www.jamstockx.com by January 20, 2026. In accordance with the terms and conditions set out in the prospectus, all applicants who successfully completed their applications will receive full allotment of their subscription on a first-come, first-served basis. Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Canadian PM Mark Carney, that's Prime Minister Mark Carney, have announced lower tariffs, signaling a reset in their country's relationship after a key meeting in Beijing. China is expected to lower levies on Canadian canola oil from 85% to 15% by March 1, while Ottawa has agreed to tax Chinese electric vehicles at the most favored nation rate, 6.1%, Carney told reporters. The deal is a breakthrough after years of strained ties and tit-for-tat levies. Xi hailed the turnaround in their relationship, but it is also a win for Carney, the first Canadian leader to visit China in nearly a decade. He has been trying to diversify Canadian trade away from the US, his country's biggest trading partner, following the uncertainty caused by Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 158 Jamaican dollars and 30 cents to buy $1 US. It cost 211 Jamaican dollars and 58 cents to buy £1 British pound and 114 Jamaican dollars and 30 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Good evening.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking them.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Welcome back. Nationwide at 5, and of course it's 6:40 p.m. time for the nation's business. And we're turning our focus to Border back in business. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce hosted the official reopening of business shops and kiosks at the border, St. Elizabeth, following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. Nationwide news was at that opening where Portfolio Minister Senator Albin Hill spoke to George Davis. Here is that interview.
For all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Back with us here on at Nationwide 90 FM. We're at Border, on the border of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. And if you noticed, before Melissa struck October 28 last year, there was a thriving business community here, people selling all kinds of treats, especially delectable for those people who've not been in Jamaica for a while and are driving here in this part of the country to reconnect with what a real fried fish tastes like, with the real escovitch, the onion rich because it comes from the St. Elizabeth earth, or wherever in Jamaica it comes from, the scotchy, nice, hot and crunch because it is purely organic, the carrot and the vinegar and everything making for a delectable treat. That's what Border was known for. Melissa came and laid waste to the business space. The Minister in charge of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica's Business Minister, Albin Hill, says when he came here a couple of days after Melissa struck, it was like a scene from the original Mad Max film with Mel Gibson. It was a total wasteland. Trees, everything down, dead animals, garbage, all kinds of detritus, and the place was just messy. Fast forward weeks, count them in weeks, and Border is back on its feet, and it's due in no small part to the work of Albin Hill and his team. Senator, Minister, good morning, sir.
George, what a pleasure to be here, and I hope you're enjoying the wonderful wafting of this fresh fish being fried.
Yeah. I can smell it.
I'm sure you can smell it.
Yes,
good to be back here.
Yeah, excellent, sir. Now, a business working group, let me give you the prop, Business Restoration Working Group, BRWG, was tasked with seeing about putting the conditions in place to get people who ply their wares, who sell food items at Border, who make Border their business place, it's their office, to get them back on their feet. You, of course, directed that Business Restoration Working Group. What are the things you considered as you tried to undertake the big repair and restoration?
All right. First of all, let me tell you who the group is. That's my brains trust in the ministry. We have 20 agency heads, JAMPRO, BSJ, that's the Bureau of Standards, and so on.
Yes, Trade Board, whatever. Yeah,
all of them. They all have masters and some have PhDs. So I said, why am I going to look for a consulting group? Here's my consulting group. So I brought them together like a day or so after. I was in Korea, and as soon as I came back, a day after the hurricane, we were together. And we said, all right, no, the Prime Minister gave me a mandate that we must put up business back to run, because he has other ministers, as you know, Minister Charles and Green and so on, working on other things.
Yes.
My job was to put back businesses up and running. Mom and pop shops, the key shops in communities where people gather, you know where they gather, and they buy their grocery and they have a drink and so on. But they don't have no power. So the Prime Minister said, go get generator. But I couldn't. It was very clear, I couldn't take ODPEM generator. Those are given to the Jamaican government for the people of Jamaica, not for individual businesses. So I had to go out, get the permanent secretary and her team, a part of my team, to make sure they procure the generators. We procured 40 of them. We go to different places, we just give them. We took, apart from the 20 agency heads, I asked for volunteers from the agencies. We had 221. Break them up into smaller working groups. They went and did the assessments, see what had to be done. Yes, this is a key one in the community. Come back. They need a 5,250 watts, kilowatts. And another one might need 9,000 kilowatts. And so we did it. They were put back up. George, of course, in this time, they couldn't even charge them phone. So the generator in the shop became a phone charger. It helps to run the freezer and the fridge. So cold meat, chicken and so on could be sold. Cold drinks could be sold. Things get back together.
Pizza ice, as simple as that.
Pizza ice.
Pizza ice, yes.
And so that's how we did it. We came to border and we say, hello here. Here's a community. There were 37 stalls there. They were all gone. Sean Paul came about the same time as we did. He gave them some lumber and some zinc. Of course, when we came in, the government, we said, all right, now this is going to be replaced and it's going to be uniform and orderly. So the people said to me, then can we take this and what we got and put it on our house? In fact, some of them we helped deliver it to their house because they don't have the tarpaulin in a fly off every minute. So we put up, and then we put up all those shops you have there. We didn't put back 37, George. We put back 51.
Excellent.
So there are 51 here, and you've seen them.
14 on top of that. All right. So the people that you've interacted with, those whose businesses you were getting ready to replace, what has been their contribution to the process?
Their contribution was, first of all, their experience. And being real, true Jamaicans, them straight up in your face. Okay? Some of them, and it's the truth is, George, there's only a couple of them. One or two of them take me on. I remember a lady, and me and them are all good friends because we lived the past 2 months down here. So me say, when she take me on and she now wants, I say, you know what? I pull her up and I say, you go and beg me for one of my stalls. So 2 days ago, George, she come to me. She said, Mr. Hill, you remember our conversation? I said, yes. She said, I am so proud and happy of what has happened here. Look at it, it looks so nice. Then another lady, and she's going to talk, I think, later on, maybe on your program, is that she look at it, just yesterday she tell me now, when everything is finished, she look at it and she say, me no want him come here, come bother our life. She never said anything to me. So yesterday she came, she said, I was one of them who didn't want it here. And I'm so proud of what the government has done and what you guys have done for us. We couldn't do it like this because, George, I set the stalls in concrete. They weren't in concrete before. So they have a steady, you can't shake them. Then on the roofs, I made sure that they have hurricane straps. Okay? Then, of course, there's no side to it, so the wind will blow through it. But they're hurricane straps that will hold it down. So they're much more resilient than when they have. And everything is smooth. I build 11 kitchen stalls at the back for them. So that they can do their cooking. They don't have to have a little pot and so on. All covered. Again, we're going to have mesh and the wind will go through it. So
aesthetically pleasing, functional and dignified.
And healthy, because the health people came in and said, oh, some of them have lost their cards. We're going to make sure they get it back and they have their food handling arrangements in place.
So the overriding message to those watching and listening to us is that broad-based acceptance at the onset of the project, but those pockets of resistance are all now pockets of acceptance.
And proud, and some of them will be speaking on your program.
Yes, excellent. Before you go, Minister, because we know that the formal proceedings are waiting on you.
those listening and watching who are doing business elsewhere, and I say, Lord, then if the minister go border, I wonder if the money and the work done and them not pay with no attention. What have you to say to them?
No, what we're doing, the Prime Minister has, you remember, in fact, when I was in Korea, the Prime Minister appointed Minister Audrey Marks and Senator Keith Duncan to put things together. We wrapped it up in our ministry because you have to have a ministry from which we have the resources.
Yes.
So we've been working together, and we're now at a stage. He's been working with people like Dr. Paris Louis and our people in the ministry to come up with a voucher system. In other words, I brought a contractor down here from Kingston because nothing was around here. The hardware stores didn't have the stuff. Everything had to come from Kingston. But now we want to make sure the money spends wider. So we're giving vouchers to businesses who clearly we do an assessment. We know what it is. So we are going to make sure the vouchers go to the right place, and we're looking forward to have local contractors do the work so the money is the multiply effect happens in the local communities. So we're going to make sure that happens. That's about to be launched. I know yesterday Minister Pernell Charles launched the SRP I heard you on the news this morning, returning house. How well he's looking after homes and houses. We're looking after business. And that voucher system is going to roll out. Two kind of vouchers. One for people who really do need a little money to help. So you have to give them money to buy to have the supply chain work. And then the people in the middle of the supply chain who need a generator, but them businesses, the roof's gone, some wall gone, and some things gone. We help them and give them a voucher to help build back, so that they're in a place. So the businesses across Jamaica, not just one place, every place get back up and running, and our economy gets back bubbling.
Last thing before you run off, how would you rate the work that you and your team would have done here in Border and the experience you've drawn from it personally, with all the other things you would have accomplished in your time as industrialist?
Well, this is just unusual. I didn't expect to have to do this. But what I draw from this, George, is the amount. You remember I told you about that working team of our senior agency heads. I got to work with 5-6 of them. And there's a yin and yang. There is for me, speed is a significant competitive advantage, especially in a crisis. But you still have to work with procurement because you need accountability and transparency. So there's that yin and yang. My job was to get many of the agency heads to try and collapse the time. We can't control the rules. We can't change the rules. But we can collapse the time. And so we had to move faster. That was frankly a little bit of my angst. I want it done quickly. Okay, because I know the need of the people. But I also realize that whenever you do it wonderful and it's working, George, somebody is going to come and check and say you didn't follow the rules. And everything you've done, they've forgotten. And now you're on the hook for not doing one or two things right. So I said, hey, I want it done quickly, but you're going to make sure you follow the procurement rules. So what can we squeeze? You squeeze time to get the decisions done. And that's what we did.
Excellent. Thank you for your time. Please run off and participate in the official function that's waiting for you. So this is the official reopening of business kiosks, shops here at Border, on the border of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. The minister has to leave us now because there's a formal ceremony, and they've been looking around here anxiously to see when he will move. He's moving now, and so the formal proceedings can get underway. We'll be here with you this morning for more interviews, and we'll be hearing from Director General.
And of course, you heard there from our George Davis speaking this morning with Portfolio Minister Senator Albin Hill at the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce's reopening of business shops and kiosks at border St. Elizabeth following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. And you heard there that they actually opened more kiosks than were there before. So they opened 51 different shops. I think they said there were 30 there before. So I want to thank the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce and, of course, Senator Albin Hill in his role as minister for the work that has been done. And remember, we are going to that because of Hurricane Melissa and the devastation that was there. So right after the passing of that Category 5 system in October, Hurricane Melissa nationwide visited the area. And here is what some of the business operators told our reporters at that time.
Yeah, get rid of them because we don't curry. You understand?
Then they can still fish, you know?
Well, the fisherman will go there since the storm, so we don't know what may happen. You understand?
So after the storm, what the water still like? Like you can actually go fish after the storm?
No, because the water dirty and murky. You understand? So it kind of settle now. If you look over there, you see a whole lot of leaves on the trees.
So how long before you can go back out there go fish?
Well, I think tomorrow is what, Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we go to see on Monday, go see what it's like. I don't know if they will find any pot that they said to catch the fish there.
Oh, you can pot them with the water sea still?
Yes, pot them with the water sea. And they never get to go back to them as well.
Right. So alright, so if they pot them now, they have to go make new one before you can get?
Make new one.
What about 30,000 for one of them, no?
Well, that much more than that. Yeah, more than that. The whole lot of millions of pots I see there. Millions.
How much fish get in one pot?
Well, you can catch all 200-300 fish in one pot because all the fish them operate. They always looking somewhere to locate. And eventually one fish go to that channel there, all of them fall after the one.
So that way they know whole heap of them just get catching in one.
Them just go in at the pot and get caught up there around. They move around and then when they ready to come out, they can't come out. And if you don't go there and enjoy the pot now, they perish. They all perish and die.
So alright. So you catch 200 fish. What kind of money that I look on in terms of by the time you sell them the back?
Alright, if you catch 200 fish, it all depends, you know. Because the 200 fish can weigh up to 500 pounds, up to 400 pounds. And it's $1,200 for 1 pound of fish. You know, have good money there. Good money there.
So them thing I really mash up everything.
They mash up it. And a hotel buy beer, a hotel buy about $1,500 a pound. For the large one where you can slap them, they buy this one.
So they catch and sell to the hotel and then one not sell and they can just sell back to people?
No, the smaller one sell to we. The larger one sell to the hotel.
Okay. Oh, but then if the hotel get mashed up now, like how say everybody get mashed up. Mash up on the too. Yeah, everybody get knocked.
Everybody get knocked. Everybody get knocked, brother. We come like we're starting from scratch. Yeah, start all over again, you know. But it's just a disaster of Christ, you know, so we have to just work with it.
Yeah, because as a man say, from your life you can build back.
Of course, you know.
My name is LJ. I'm from Foster Grove, right around there.
Walk me through what it was when the storm hit. Just describe it.
Walk you through. I'm not even know how to describe this. It's terrible, bad. So I did meds easy and I watch a little storm come over and same time I did it. Just want a little breeze come. I tell you, I want a person when I run out and a storm go save. Baby, I tell you. We just sit down and watch the two hoes stop them gone. Because I run to one of them, give one of my friend them. That the one they gone, it lean up on my other house round the back. And then the front house now, my grandmother and there. Somebody have fret on there with them and say, alright, I see what can go out. I say, this is not nothing now, man. They come like say, this is not it's not hurricane, it's a tornado. This is not no hurricane thing. Nothing. I tell you, boy. Every time I talk about it, I go back on my house them. None of them go back on look on. Not even one. Right up and down on bike. Come out there, so I go back up on my house them. None of them. What was your experience in this time? Experience? Deadly. To watch people just a bawl and a scream, baby confused. Mother, I cry for son because son they are different place from them. Grandfather with Pitney. I tell her my grandmother could walk. She be the mostly afraid of her still because if I did it for try, make sure I did it can move her as soon as the storm slow down. But otherwise, that's how to me have to say she alright still. I mostly she and I worry about my little sister and my little brother. Because my other people I'm not there, so my mother not there, and my little younger brother I'm not there neither. So I just mostly like my mother, me I worry about still. Nothing like honestly because she can't move. She's in her 60s, so she can't move, none at all. So she mostly everything. I tell you.
So were you prepared like beforehand? Did you batten down? Did you do anything?
Yeah, we do look out batten still, but we are say like Berry, you know, Berry pass through, we are say Berry just blow and rock losing them and not no gan. But boy, this a go and come back cause like a 2-star now and this a you go uphill and if you say done in next round, oh God man, it was them flat man. Flat.
And it's been about 5 days now since it. How has it been on you emotionally and your mental health?
Emotionally, tell you the honest truth. Maybe I just not even go on my yard, otherwise I'm just step on the roadside and drink, cook, laugh with one another. Because one little spring bus out where we have to do there. And I try to keep things safe and just meds. Because if you meds here, I go beds everything when I last. Because right now my brand new bed set. 200, I don't want to talk about it either. Nothing I want to talk about over this. Because everything wreck. No house in my community just safe unless a concrete. Everybody on my place homeless. Everyone I'm nigga them homeless. Everybody homeless.
And this is where you work now?
Yeah, this is where we usually work.
Talk to me about here.
As you can see, it was here but he's not here anymore. Stalin did pretty and everything. Right now, we just have to take a little time and move out. I got make nothing to do with fridge if it's store fridge. Otherwise, we don't have no fish to sell. So we are trying to get rid of them now so they don't spoil. Because if they spoil, a big loss is way. Because a whole heap of money spent by them. They always say also how we have left and remain as we safe. Now for we closeless. Good friend can go and say boom and then give me a brand new suit. Not even brand new clothes I have to take out because they can't give me the I laugh about the worst times. I'm not telling like. All to me just happy say my family good, all of my friends them good. And me have life. That's the main thing.
Oh, my name is Cooleyman, that most people know me as. Go on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you find Cooleyman, the French fry lobster man on the border. The steamed fish, steamed conch, French fried lobster, fried fish.
And how has the storm affected you?
Well, it more than can talk. It's a disgraceful storm. And we're thinking about taking on life in our community, but we take life around our community. There is nothing named roof, leave around us. We are naked, just like the day we were just born. It's a rough, real rough, tough. It's just like starting from grade 1, our infant school right about now. If we're out here, so our livelihood, you see it, we can't have time to clean up to make a start because we don't know where tomorrow bread going to come from right now.
So now it's just about immediate help because you need to start.
It's like right about now, like how me attack, right about now we need help. The main thing we want food, we want shelter, we want water.
You one day are working, so like, how do you just come out and decide to...
Because we always have stuff for the next day. So we are current gone now, the fridge them freeze, now them are defrost. We already dip on our face, we knee, so we have the rest of goods them, we can't make them rotten.
So you try to sell them out?
So we have to try to sell them out and try to take up our pieces and bounce on.
And how was it? So you started since when? When did you resume all this?
We just started yesterday.
And how has the sale been thus far?
Well, honestly, the people them need food just like how we need the cash, so we have to reach out to them and then reach out to us.
And I was speaking to someone else and he was saying that no help so far, they're passing you,
Well,
assuming maybe that you're okay.
Honestly, we start getting no help as yet. Even we out here trying to selling something and the speed that they pass us on right here, the dust killing us right now. If you're coming down the road and see a lot of traffic and some people on the wayside, I think we should come down with more caution, speed, high speed, green light on, that cause chaos. That's no respect.
And it's been about 5 days now since the passage of the hurricane. How has it been for you mentally?
It's rough, I would say rough. Many nights, don't sleep, just like shut eye, wake up, I wondering what tomorrow gonna be because your roof has gone. All that you provide already torn apart. So your head is not there, your mind is not there. You don't know where to start from right now.
Talk to me about the connectivity. Have you been able to reach out to anybody to say that, listen, I'm okay? Because I know that a lot of people are saying that connectivity has been one of their issues as well.
That's one of the main things right now. We have enough family and friends. I don't know if anybody see me around and pass on the news, I'm okay, but they don't hear nothing at all from me. It's rough.
And of course, you heard there, you're back with us, you heard there from some of our nationwide team members speaking with some of the vendors, some of the business operators at border shortly after the passing of Hurricane Melissa and the cries that they had needing help, needing support. And of course, today, this morning, the team from Nationwide shared with you at the reopening of business shops and kiosks at Border St. Elizabeth, courtesy, of course, the work of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The minister was there, the portfolio minister, Senator Aubin Hill, and of course we are grateful to see and hear that the gentlemen, the men and women of Border and their families are being restored. And that's something that we are grateful for as we continue to work to rebuild and to renew after the passage of Hurricane Melissa in October. You're with us on Nationwide at 5. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Loan vibes, loan laughs, and loan entertainment. Come on the road with me. Cause when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. Don't forget to pick up my DJ. DJ Jerome, the Shell Boss, I'm gonna make it bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tunes. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
Against all odds, coming soon to Nationwide 90 FM. Join us as we relive compelling sports stories about the agony of defeat.
I don't blame anyone. As I said, I'm the captain of the Australian team. It's on my watch and I take responsibility.
The jubilation of success.
I've dedicated all my life to being the best and to being the best track and field person I can possibly be. Trying to be a legend, trying to be the greatest, trying to be unstoppable.
And the roller coaster ride that sports carries.
I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody to lose. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Against all odds. Coming soon to Nationwide 90 FM.
Good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5, 8 minutes after 7. We're on the final lap now, and we're turning our attention to this vexed issue of how traffic affects productivity and the need for flexi work. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Professor Donna Hope.
Now, the traffic situation in Kingston, Montego Bay, and other major towns in Jamaica, it's now considered and being described in some quarters as a man-made crisis. One that's rooted in the country's long-standing 9-to-5 work culture.
An opinion piece in the Caribbean National Weekly by a marketing and communications specialist, Tony Anlati, argues that by insisting most workers report to offices at the same time each day, employers are effectively locking commuters into daily traffic gridlock. The result is hours lost on the roads, increased fuel consumption, and growing frustration among workers.
Ms. Latty's commentary suggests that embracing flexible start times, staggered shifts, and remote work, where possible, could significantly reduce peak hour congestion. She says such changes would not only improve traffic flow, but also enhance productivity and work-life balance.
The piece also warns that traffic congestion is no longer just a problem for Kingston, with Montego Bay and Mandeville showing similar patterns as urban growth continues. The debate now turns to whether Jamaica is ready to rethink how work gets done, or whether the 9-to-5 model will continue to keep the country stuck in traffic. For that discussion, we are being joined by President of the Jamaica Employers Federation, Wayne Chen, and marketing strategist, Doyle Nomdarkam. Welcome, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. And in your, I think we'll start off with Wayne Chen. There has long been a call for us moving towards a flexi work week. I haven't heard much about it in recent times. Can, from your role with the Jamaica Employers Federation, Wayne, and also just your own living here in Jamaica, can you tell us how you would position this conversation looking at what is happening in the current timeline that we are in?
It's something that we have long preached as the Jamaica Employers Federation. In fact, coming out of the pandemic and our experience with remote work, where Jamaica had a taste of it. It is something that we see as achieving all the goals you just outlined: work-life balance, higher productivity, a reduction in loss, greater workforce morale, in effective preaching to the choir. I'll share something with you. When your producer called and asked if I would be willing to speak on this topic, I did a back-of-the-envelope calculation. There are about 560,000 people working in the Kingston metropolitan area.
Yes.
If they were able to save 30 minutes per day, 15 minutes going to work and 15 minutes back, it translates to 280,000 man hours per week. Days saved. Man and woman hours, but you know the terminology.
Yes.
Which translates into $525 million US per year, assuming a 250-day work year. Which translates to, here's the shocker, somewhere between 1.2 and 1.5% of GDP. Just by saving 30 minutes a day on average on the road could translate to more than 1% of the bottom line in Jamaica's GDP. And I know both of you have long been engaged in this thorny dilemma that Jamaica has.
Yes.
How do we move to sustain economic growth? And here we have, I wouldn't say stumbled upon, but here we are unlocking one of the barriers to growth, I would say.
Joel, the employers know the data. They know what reports indicate from our friends in the developed world. So why do you think there's this resistance in Jamaica to moving towards the flexi work arrangement?
You know, honestly, I'm so happy that Wayne had all the data from the employee standpoint to back it up, because on the other side, you have really and truly the aspect of employee well-being when it comes down to mental health, productivity, which is key. I honestly think it's just our reluctance to change, and it's coming from the upper head standpoint, people running these companies and what they think productivity is. I think the viewpoint of how we've seen productivity over the years is literally seeing people sitting at their desk when half the time, even though, and I mean, we're all connected online where we're seeing most of the time it's really people sitting at their desk watching Netflix, catching up with TikTok, etc. So the idea of productivity is what needs to be changed, and that won't happen unless there is some serious provision of data and insight to the people running these companies, because that's really where the decisions are made.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up hopping onto this call. I had the opportunity to kind of just look at some of the other nations that's leading with flexible work arrangements, and I think we need to look at the difference between working from home versus flexible working arrangements, and what the conversation really should be, because at the end of the day, when you have, we've seen what COVID has done, we would have expected it to at least be a great bridge to how the work culture where flexible working arrangement is concerned. Some people continue working from home, some have the flexible, some don't have it at all. But nations that would have experimented, for example, with a 4-day work week, who are now basking in the glory of that and having people reporting better working conditions, better productivity, etc. So it's the reluctance. I will have to present the hard facts to people running these organizations that they need to change their view as to what they think productivity is. Because it's not the same.
But Joel and Wayne, and I see the YouTubers getting very excited about this conversation, because one of the things that people say, and especially the point you just raised, Joel, about not just flexi work hours, but also working from home, that remote work or that hybrid work, is that many times when persons are working from home, it's almost as if you have to have a camera on them to ensure that they actually get work done. So how would you then, depending on the type of industry that you're in, how would you be able to ensure that you are able to either measure productivity or at least ensure that the productivity levels are kept at maximum point when many persons, because there's that feeling which may not be backed up by research, but there's that feeling that if you give people a chance to work from home, Ricardo, them not do no work.
Tell it as it is, Prof. Them things are lazy. Them things are we go home, go Skylar.
But Prof. and Ricardo, what that leads to is what are these yearly reviews for? Is it theater? All of these KPIs and year review with people. Everybody has set things that they have to meet as workers at organizations, And I do get it though, because some work you can't really work from home because of the technology, the access you need, and also the mobility of the job. But everybody is doing year reviews with their team members, and you have different things and targets that you have to meet. Whether if you're in a situation where really and truly you really don't need to be in the office and you can save your staff traffic time from Portmore to Kingston, 4 hours you take coming and going because of traffic, you're losing 4 hours versus working from home. You have these set goals and targets that each employee has. So otherwise it's theater. You're just reviewing people for fun. Because the performance should be tied to these
the output,
the indicators that are key, measurable.
Wayne, I think Joel is right there. So what do you hear from the employers in terms of what's driving the reluctance?
I will tell you, I will sum it up to one word for you: fear. The gatekeepers, and I use the term very pointedly, are afraid of change. And I'll tell you why it is. And I'm being very generic because it's something I engage in actively and have for years. Digital transformation, which is what will drive the hybrid workplace. I mean, the studies will show that you don't want it to be all remote work. And even that I can tell you that I was asked very early in my journey not to refer to it as working from home. And that was a set of women who came up to me after a seminar to say, when we work from home, and this was during the pandemic, our partners expect us not only to do our regular 9 to 5, but to do more of the household work and to take it to them. So we would rather
because you're at home.
Remote work. So I know Professor Hope that would resonate when I say that, because you could have
the gender dynamics
there. It's a
there.
gender dynamic, but it's also a cultural dynamic, because there's an expectation that if there are responsibilities at home and you're physically there, somehow you should do more of it. But so that's something that would have to be dealt with. But the gender component as well, Wayne, is important. The woman is working from home. She just go to wash, cook, and clean, and everything while doing it.
And cater to the other one who might be at home too.
Yes.
So I want to raise that to say there are nuances that I've been learning about. But fear is at the heart of the resistance to change. People have confided to me that they don't see why they should surrender power. They don't say it in those words. Authority. They have at the workplace to youngsters who are much more comfortable working in that universe. They have not invested the time and effort into the measurement tools that will measure output. So many people were happy when I'll tell you, I know many bosses, and not only at top level, supervisory level, middle management and so, were happy when they work from home, edict was lifted in the public sector.
Yes.
Because they weren't sure whether the people who were at home were doing any work at all. That is what was said to me in many instances.
But doesn't that go back to exactly what Joel was saying just now, Wayne? That there should be indicators that you're hitting.
But the thing is, though,
he's correct.
But the thing is, though, the Wayne, Joel, and Ricardo, that if you are, for example, tasked with crunching, you're in accounting, and you need to crunch a certain amount of numbers daily, then you would have to produce that. If you're working in administration, there's a certain level, you have a certain amount of documentation to deal with. So you would have to produce that daily. So there are measurable indicators in many careers, in many job responsibilities, in many job descriptions. And I know for persons like myself, many of us, when we work from home, we actually do more work because we don't have to put in the mix, getting up, getting ready, putting on, driving. So you get up, you eat breakfast, you start working. And so there are measurable indicators. So I think it comes back to a lot of what Wayne is saying, coming out of the employers section, where people prefer to have control over these bodies. 9 to 5, you must be visible, mark your time in front of us, even if you're not performing.
Joel, do you think it would help if the government actively takes the lead on this?
Oh boy, that's the part that Conzo was waiting to reach, because I honestly think it starts with leadership. It starts with leadership, and it also starts with encouraging it, and not it just being something mentioned and urged. Because if you do a quick run even on the news versus 2020 versus 2026 in terms of conversation around work from home and Jamaica, you see the gradual push and articles supporting it during the pandemic period.
Joel?
I think we have lost Joel, so we'll bring back to it.
I would say this. There are organizations in Jamaica that have fully embraced the new paradigm and are reaping benefits from it. One of the points that we make continuously is that the transition is not a technology issue, it's a mindset issue. And Jamaica, for many reasons, resists change. And the number one reason I say to you here publicly is fear.
But then the government, because someone once asked me, what do I think could be a big election winner? And I actually said, advocating for a flexi work arrangement and saying, we've lost Wayne as well.
I think we have lost
and saying that government would do that and administration would do that. I think that would be a vote winner. And I think the politicians need to start thinking about it. Joel, you're back with us. You were explaining what you think government needs to do.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm like, why the call drop at the juicy part of the discussion? But no, honestly, I think it's leading by example. And I was saying that even when you look at the gradual change between conversations around encouraging work from home, by 2023, you saw a lot of companies withdrawing it because at that point the pandemic would have started to ease up. I think that honestly, the government takes a stand because they do have workers who do not need to even be in the government agencies every day. But if they take a stand in terms of leading, then that may send a positive signal to people who are whether private sector or other public sector companies. I think it really takes the conversations as well. We need to really have more conversations, more research-based conversations. The Ministry of Digital Transformation and Labor and whoever that kind of speak from that aspect of people management. They need to look at what other countries are doing. The data is there, and you can't really tell life on science. As I said before, I was reading up some European news, and we need to stop underestimating and always call ourselves third world countries, because sometimes we need to honor everything as third world, first world. Not because Poland and Sweden and them do it mean we can do it because of third world. You're talking about people, you're talking about well-being, you're talking about productivity. And if we can take a few pages from those books, why is it that countries now that have employed 4-day work week, why is it that the people are producing more? There's research, there's data, and it's not just something that you take up and say, okay, I'm going to put this. They would have done 2 months worth of research, 2 months worth of proper training to be able to implement something. And I think that's where we may be able to do well if we actually do proper training, implementation, because people are different. You have some people who would abuse it, but it doesn't mean everybody would have music. Some people just really don't want to be in the traffic like me. I'm glad to have my own business. Come, look what the manage the traffic.
Yeah, it has become terrible, absolutely terrible. But Wayne, I don't want to be unfair to the employers because I can hear some of them saying now, look, on the same one I tell you, say there's a productivity problem in this country, and yet you're advocating for people to go home and work. And if they're not working at the office, what makes us think they'll work from home? I can hear employers saying that. How do you respond to that?
And the fact is that is part of the mission of the Jamaica Employers Federation to change that mindset.
Yes.
To move towards objective merit-based compensation and productivity tools that actually measure output and not just time spent at a desk. To share best practices. And the best practices are really coalescing around a blended approach, that the all-remote approach doesn't really work for organizational culture, that people still benefit from face-to-face interaction periodically.
Yes.
So a blended approach actually works. There is one organization that I'm associated with where I've been promoting this sort of blended approach. And I remember I spoke to the HR manager and asked if she had completed a survey over what the staff would want. And I realized I didn't get the survey results after a couple of weeks. And I called her again and I said, what has happened to the survey? She said we didn't need a survey because 100% of the staff want it. But it still didn't happen. It's the gatekeepers that need to change the mindset. And that some of it by edict, but a lot of it by hand-holding and demonstrating the benefits of the new paradigm.
And you know, Wayne and Joel and Ricardo, we started talking about Flexi Week, but we're really now talking about what we call hybrid, remote work, Flexi Work Week, which is, of course, having staggered hours. So maybe some people come in at 7 and leave at 3, 8 and leave at, so that kind of thing. But so it's really looking at how the digital cyberspace frontier could help us, but also looking at other mechanisms that can have people changing the hours that they spend at work and also the amount of days that they spend physically. So it's a lot of different approaches coming together. But what I hear coming out in all of this is this work-life balance that we are also trying to talk through in many cultures, not just Jamaica. Joel, in terms of the people's mental health, and you talked about yourself, how does your mental health differ? You were, working in in that kind of less pressured environment, having to travel into work. Tell us what benefits you see for yourself or for other persons. What are the kind of benefits?
So I had two experiences, team. I had, when I was in corporate, my company incorporated flexi work hours from like 2018. And you know what that did? It made me balance so well because I lived in Spanish Town. So I would head over in the morning, 5 o'clock to go to the gym. And then I'd get to work at 7 a.m. And then I'd leave work at 3 p.m. That was perfect for me because I wasn't in traffic at any point in time. And that also encouraged me to really stick to my fitness and mental health. And that really helped me big time. And I feel what that does is the flexible arrangement. And that's what I really, really am a champion for. Because Wayne mentioned about how, at the end of the day, culture is important and people culture. So being in the office is necessary. 5 days a week, no. 2, 3, 1, sure, because you have to build rapport. You have to see people, So I do think by giving, you basically get that opportunity to design your work day when you do have the flexible working arrangement. You get to put in your gym time, you get to put in your, if you like yoga, you get to the dropping off with the kids. Activities that really keep you focused and your well-being up. It really does help. And you also get a certain degree of autonomy. As I said before, to plan your days. It's not always work. And the companies who do this, it's a great encouragement to also encourage their employees to really listen. This ball is in your court, do it. And to be honest, most of my colleagues who have benefited from that, they actually do more work because they know that, listen, I'm home. I'm not on the same clock and I need to produce. And because you may have other things that you want to do. And employees, let's be real as well. I know one of the big concerns is, they're at home starting other companies and doing other things. If you are getting your targets and you are meeting your satisfaction, those things should be not even up for consideration. So everything comes back to the views, but I do believe when you give employees that opportunity, it makes them basically design them life. And happy employees equal better profit.
Yeah, the YouTubers are actively weighing in on the conversations.
Yes.
Let me just read some of the comments. MD says we work longer hours a lot when working from home. OMS Associate says, Prof, you are disciplined. Many of us are not. Marigold says we do more work when we work at home. And Rick Jam says it is a mindset. Yeah. Mario says, but we have passed flexi work hours years ago as well. Not many jobs and employers are on board. Only BPO and security work are really working on shifts. Yes. Marcia says hybrid work is great and it saves a lot on office space, but it has to be properly managed. Wayne, how do you see the aspect of mental health and having to sit in the traffic?
You know, work-life balance is one of the great things that we have to aspire to. Mental health, and let me tell you something, Jamaica is still suffering and will for some time suffer from the trauma of Melissa, which piles onto the other traumas that we suffer from, whether excessive violence in our society, whether from excessive poverty in our society, whether from just economic uncertainty. We are a stressed society.
Mm-hmm.
I think moving to where people have more control over their hours is something that will greatly ease. And all the studies show this. I mean, I can think going back to In Pursuit of Excellence, which I read back in the 1970s, where they talk about workers taking greater control of their hours and their lives, reducing stress. We have known this for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only a question of changing the mindset of the gatekeepers, the mindset of our policymakers, the ones charged with implementing what we long know and what the research tells us and what best practice tells us and what new generations of workers are demanding.
Yes.
We need to get with the program.
Yeah.
And I think that's a point before we go close off, Ricardo, because Joel is from a different generation from Wayne and myself. And I know that many persons of your generation, Joel, you know, your age demographic, are more au fait with utilizing.
And then we get up and left the work, you know, and snap if you stress them out. Them not sit down and check the stress them and get up and left the work.
And start business and without them and
right.
You know, all of that, and they're gone. So in a lot of ways, I think we have to also look at, as employers, the generational changes and the expectations that are coming with the new, you know, the new demographics that are upon us. They have an expectation that, like many of my younger people, their birthday is their special day. They do not. No. Joel, please back me up. Joel, please back me up. They do not work.
No, you're correct.
And they don't come to classes. When it's their birthday, they are going on a trip.
Yes.
And I mean, it's one of the most remarkable things I've learned from them.
And you used to go work on your birthday. Joel, Dirk, Wayne Chen. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate the perspectives.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it is important.
Yes.
The traffic, I'm so happy now that we're here because I get to avoid it.
Remember, Ricardo, I was coming from the university to come to Bradley Avenue. I cannot explain to you the kind of traffic I encountered to get there. I'm coming here now.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
So traffic.
It is a problem. And policymakers, I think the government should perhaps take the lead on it. And then we see if it trickles down. But it's something that we need.
But there are also other things that we can talk about. I saw the YouTubers mentioning it. That's something we have to have another discussion about carpooling.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Breaking the culture of me turning up me alone in my
One
car.
somebody in them car.
And the 10 of us from the same avenue in 10 cars heading in the same direction. We need to talk about that.
You know what I'd want to hear you on, Prof? Because I've been thinking that it is because the car in our culture is seen as a status symbol. That's part of the problem. And then, of course, the public transportation system is not reliable.
Just the public transport. It's not, because remember, if you're carpooling, you're not in public transport. So many people are heading out from, say, Portmore, same direction, coming into Kingston, same, and they're going to leave work and head back in the same direction. They stay in the offices all day. They hardly go anywhere, maybe. And everybody heads out in their cars. When you're in Europe and you're in New York and you're in this, nobody's driving. I'm in London. Nobody drives their cars.
You go onto the tube.
You go onto the tube, cars stay maybe on a weekend, people might drive the cars, but our culture and the status, so carpooling, not taking public transportation, we still have work to do, but carpooling is something that we also need to begin to encourage in our culture. We're going to have to get somebody to come and talk with us about the statistics for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely needs to be addressed. We're going to take the break. And after the break, will it be time for your calls? Let me just make sure Miss Dana doesn't have anything else planned. It will be time for your call. 630-937-124, 618-6730.
Need to pass your CSEC CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth, and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening, and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSEC CAPE exams for January's resit or May, June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking bits.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
We're on the final lap now. It's a hopeful Friday and Papa Nana is up first. Good evening, Papa Nana.
Papa
Nana. How you do?
I'm alright, how are you?
Oh, me alright, man. Oh, my big friend, Professor.
Oh, you know, Papa Nana, I'm a good man, and hearing from you now makes me feel better. Very good.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
You can't say it again. You make me feel good. You make me head feel big.
Don't make your head swell, no.
By the way, Papa Nana, let me give you a joke. Yes. So, remember I told you I was going to write down the proverb. Yes. If mongoose have secret for dog, what happened to fowl?
Yes.
So, I wrote it down, but I tweeted it. Yeah. I tweeted it onto my account. I mean, I tell us, say, your fans them come in and my mentions and I tell me, oh, he's a philosopher. Yes, Papa Nana. Them say, no, you're a chat, but can I make sure I attribute it to you, I quote you, because you tell me, I write it, I put, so said Papa Nana. People them say, you're a philosopher, master.
Then tell me something. You know, should tell them about the other one, man. You have some dishonest, you have some real dishonest person in this country, you know, that they then shake you and you have to count your finger to, you know.
You need tell me the one day. So they shake you and you have to count your finger. Oh, because they might go down your finger them.
Them teeth like that.
You better believe me.
Over there, skill at it. Papa
Nana's wisdom. Yes, Papa Nana, what about your mind?
Yes, let me tell you something. I hear you and Proper talk about this traffic on the road.
Yes, bad man.
A lot of these traffic that this is on the road here now is caused through selfishness.
Oh, yes, oh, you figure that.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. I know of 4 people, as a matter of fact, 3 people live in one yard. And would you believe me that 2 of them work at Marcus Garbage Drive and 1 maybe pass where you people are there now. And this is where them drive.
Prof was just mentioning it to me off air.
I literally just said that to Ricardo.
Prof was just mentioning that to me off air. The status of showing everybody see a driver you have car.
And you live
oh
it,
my God! Why you talk so quick, man? Why you not let me done before you sure? It's the same thing I was going to should tell you.
Yes.
Show up.
Yes.
You want to tell me before God and man say they couldn't use even one car or even two?
Yeah. But you see, Papa Nana is a status, for sure. Say you've arrived. Say you have your own car. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what get me so upset sometimes? If you call anybody even in the Ministry of Transport and the thing there, because wear jacket and necktie, none of them will talk to you. You understand?
Yes.
You as a person in the country who is much older than them and have experience, they don't talk to you because you have to wear jacket and necktie. I know of somebody right now who could be a tremendous help to the JUTC bus.
Yes.
And I call certain people about it. 2 years and now I'm trying to get an audience with somebody who is responsible for JUTC, and that person will not talk to me because I just tell what I haven't got a degree, I don't have an office, I don't wear jacket and necktie. So, then who is you? And that is how we people behave in this country. So we are this mindset. I mean, I actually come from Jacksonville area, and I see where helpers there have their own car that they drive and carry their employer's child, go to work, go to supermarket, pay bills. Meanwhile, the missus at home doing work. And it's a big help.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What for rethink we approach?
Well, I mean, a lot of it doing Ricardo and Papa Nana. Remember, at the base of it, with Jamaicans, we have to show up ourselves because we are coming from far.
Yes.
A lot of people have struggled. They're coming from, so people want to show something up there.
And it's
There's an
understandable.
identity.
Yeah, it's understandable.
So we have to find a way to build our society out so people don't have that need. To
for show off,
right,
for pop style.
Right. Because, yes, and so it's that part coming from the slavery and the colonial, we're still trying to balance up ourselves. That's a part
the smadification, where smadifies ourselves.
Yes, that's part of it.
Yes, Prof, I agree with you, but I mean, and you still have to have a reliable bus service too.
Yes.
That's going to be important. That's going to be an important part of it.
Anyway, let me give other people like
all right, Papa Nana. Have a good weekend.
Remember those two things.
All right, my brother.
Take care.
630-937-124, 618-6730. Faithful?
Good evening.
Good evening,
Ricardo. Professor.
Good evening, Faithful.
My parishioner, how are you doing?
Not bad.
Hello?
Yeah, man, we're good, man. Hearing you good, yes.
Yeah, what a week. It's only 2 weeks in the year, 2 weeks and 2 days. What a year it has been. This whole practice therapy and all of these things.
Yes.
And I keep saying to myself, all right, my stand in life, you see, I think I said earlier on before. You elect a government to manage your affairs. And in the eyes of the people, your affair was not managed right. And you come out and having a protest against it because I am hungry and I can't get water and all these things. And because you feel that whatever the person is doing, you're the done. You turn the gun and you want the people. I find out to get over things like those. And I'm saying to myself, this kind of killing, wanton killing and killing of your own people because of hunger and want of water. And you kill your own people and slaughter them without fear. And most of us cannot see the terribleness in that. And I can't remember myself when the Gaza person invaded Israel and killed 1,200 of them. And when what Israel did was genocide, yes, but I think also what Iran did to people also genocide. But everybody was so up in all without Israel did that. I'm not hearing that people cry for the people in Iran. And I'm saying the thing is not equalized out.
You're saying that we should be paying the same kind of attention to Iran and giving the same kind of lamentation?
Yes, because the people in Iran, in my view, have a more justified reason for them to do what they do than what Israel did in Gaza.
because Hamas did attack Israel. But the people in Iran was crying out for basic human rights because they were hunger and they need water. And as one man put it, he don't know he's going to stand in front of his wife and children and have nothing to give them to eat and have no hope to give them. That's why they will protest. And to turn off the internet and slaughter other people, then other people, then ferociously. The level of outcry that I expect, I'm not hearing it. Because to me, that's one of the greatest injustice one could ever do to their people. When you elect them to protect you, you turn around and they're gonna slaughter them. And the justice system in that country agree with it, and everybody agree with it, and everyone and we just hug it up. I guarantee you this day, if Israel was trying to do those things, everybody would up in arms. Everybody in this country and everywhere would up in arms. Where is equality in justice? I we just correct the human rights this when it suits our own thinking.
All right, Faithful. Hear you.
Thanks for sharing, indeed.
Carl, good evening.
Evening, Ricardo. Evening,
Carl. Good evening, yes.
Let me have 4 short questions. Now make me Hope answer 2 on your Ricardo too. All right. Ricardo, I heard the mayor, the Kingston and St. Andrew, acquired over $75 million that they get to do road and things. And of the mayor for Kingston and St. Andrew, remember that there's someone done business from last year that he doesn't answer those questions all now yet. He's still hanging out. Because for me, I think the government should have never given the KSAC more than 20 million, so they need to reduce it back to 20 million, take back 55 million. Those questions are still out there hanging from what a PMP man did tell us. And he did not answer those questions up to today. Am I still there? But him acquired 75 million in debt. That's for you, Ricardo. The next one.
But hold on, let me just remind. The mayor did, you'll recall, the mayor did deny any wrongdoing. But he did deny that he had done anything wrong. Just for the completeness.
And I understand that. But there is some questions still there hanging that did not answer.
Okay.
And those are the questions he need to answer first before he can come a quarrel over money. Whatever money give to the KSAC is taxpayer money. Your next question here, Ricardo. School with you now. Mr. Dawes. Mr. Dawes never stop hammer the jail.
Dr. Alfred Dawes?
That's Dr. Alfred Dawes. He did not stop hammer the jail that was for the Bustamante Hospital to help children. And in the talk about the documents, them go through the right channel and all kind of things. But in Jumpo Tuesday evening, the JLP young arm asked him some question Wednesday morning to come and clarify those things. And up till now we can't hear nothing from Mr. Dawes.
Carl?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, there was a question there. You see, you had a question for me.
That's the two me I ask you.
No, you ask me a
That's a
question.
question.
You
he
never got a
just-
statement. You ask me a question.
In both instances,
Oh, okay.
In both instances, Carl make a statement. And if you
Oh,
want
I was
to
waiting for
respond,
the question. That's why I
you
was
want to
silent.
respond,
Okay.
you respond. Carl just making his statements. And
All
you
right,
want to
Carl.
respond. Yes.
Let's hope your time now.
All right. Let me
Is
hear
another
what-
statement?
No, I have two statements from you. Yes, Carl.
I don't know if you did wait this morning
Mm-hmm.
when time Mr. Damian Crawford was on the air this morning giving an interview.
Where?
And Nationwide, that's one station me listen to, it doesn't waste time. And what Damian Crawford doesn't seem to understand, that people out here that is listening, we are intelligent people who are listening him. And I heard Said Bernard post a leg break to him and him dally road,
What was the question?
When him talk, say, in a see him one constituency, him a ask people to make them child go to a different home to go to school from there. And Said asks him if he have an idea how much that would have cost. And him dilly-dally.
I don't understand. He's asking the children to do what?
Why they need to go to a different home?
All right. He school them in say Westmoreland then and Black River.
Mm-hmm.
Them that like them to go to another say those school is not ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is like
So
what
I go to
Damian
Petersfield for argument's sake. Petersfield is damaged, and I want to go to another school.
Right. So what Damian Crawford seems to be saying, those kids from those 6 parish, some could come to Kingston, some maybe end up at Portland, St. Thomas, St. Mary, Killarney.
But we have been
So what's-
doing that.
so what's
but
wrong
that
with
has
that?
been happening. We have
All right.
The
that has
government
been
has
happening.
has that policy. So what's
Yes.
wrong with that?
Right. Hold on. But you can't, how much that would cost you? If the kids them are going to leave that constituency, then parents would have to come to.
No. As the government has it now, it's what do you call it? They call it. I think it's adopt.
Adopt, yeah.
I can't recall
I
the
know
exact
a few
name.
children who are in that
But yeah,
program.
what the government is recommending is that if you have family members,
Yes.
or if there are families who can accommodate the children,
And
they
I
do it.
understand that part, Ricardo. If in the Ricardo, if Damian did tell me said that, but he did not answer that part of the question. Him just said he kids them to go to somebody, some friend and all can. Now, Ricardo,
No,
you have
I
daughter.
think you're making much ado, Carl, because if it already exists, as we agree it does, the government has advocated for that to happen, and it is happening. I know Immaculate, Kingston College, St.
yes, St.
Jago, quite a
like
number of
that's nice
schools
schools,
are
yes.
doing it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what is the problem?
Well, Ricardo, you couldn't take up, couldn't take up 7 parish. And send
No,
them
but it's
all
not
over to
every.
different
But it can't. But it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be 7 parish,
Because
Carl,
where
because
the
it's not
need is.
all the schools are
Yeah.
completely uninhabitable. So it would have to be the ones that
going
are.
after what, Ricardo.
No, but I think you're being you're nitpicking
No,
because
Ricardo,
clearly
I'm going
no.
after
But
what
I'm
Mr. Damian
I'm saying to you,
Crawford
Carl. I'm saying to you, Carl. You have to sometimes act in good faith. You know, the good member of parliament could never be suggesting that all students from all 7 parishes be relocated. That would defy basic common sense. And I know, and you know that Damian Crawford is not an idiot. So he could never have been suggesting that. So I think you're nitpicking.
Can Carl make the next point now because we want to take another caller. Carl.
Go to the next point.
Make the next point.
Let's come out for the school.
It's my point, you know. Ricardo, why you take over my point?
Go on to the next point.
Evelyn, I heard Matthew Samuda.
We have an echo.
I don't know. Matthew Samuda was a Nationwide and with Miss a young lady named Honeybee. And he asked Matthew Samuda some question about some of the politicians.
No, there's a feedback on your line.
Carl, we're having a feedback. We're having a feedback on
Carl?
the line.
All right. Sorry,
Yeah,
Carl.
yeah.
Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Prof.
Hi, Cleveland. Good evening.
Well, I couldn't hear Carl like out in the seat.
Then a feedback came in. Yeah.
Why are people so unkind to each other? I have a friend called me from St. Elizabeth. I wasn't home at the time. I was on the road.
And she gets so upset to know that people is saying Dr. Chang gone back to hospital and then sick, you know. She didn't like that. And now is when I come home now here in the news and to see that nothing is wrong with the gentleman. Him don't gone back into the hospital and yet
there's a particular account that I saw tweeted, and this is somebody who I see actively professing to be online, a man of faith.
Oh Lord!
And that, you know, he has a belief in God.
Those people sometimes not
and
good
yet
at all.
he lies at a rate that is simply astonishing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those in the party that he supports, the leadership, because he seems to be an a devout member. If somebody can't talk to him, the lying it's really, really bad.
Yeah,
it's bad. I saw the tweet, and it's every day. It's every day. It's just some lie.
Yes, I don't know what they're getting out of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm prof. I don't mind seeing the young people driving them car, you know. God, that is telling me that prosperity is really working. You know?
Is it really?
No,
Yes,
but you know, Cleveland and YouTubers and listeners, that in other places we like to talk about foreign.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I went to Rome. If you don't have a special permit that you pay one bag of money for, you can't park your car in a Rome. You know, you have to just pause and park up. In Manhattan, in New York, you can drive to work and just park up. You must take right. And I lived in Virginia. You have to park and ride. I see people talking about it. You park and ride because the congestion in the city. They're talking about the congestion in the city.
But by the way,
can't drive into the city.
I think Mike Henry. Mike Henry.
Yes.
When he was transport minister, he proposed something like that.
A park and ride.
A park and ride.
Yes.
I recall him proposing, and people laughed at him. And they said they wouldn't do it.
We are here now.
He did. Yeah, I remember that, man. He said he'd park at a central location and then board the bus. Yes, I recall that. And people did laugh at him.
Just because of how our bus system is, because trust me, you know, as much as you see them pretty new bus around there, sometimes you stand up at one place long to get a bus, you know.
Yeah.
Like I travel on the 47 and 46, and trust me.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
One day we go and get up, you see, and it's either the morning peak hour or the evening peak hour. And you go and get into a piece of gridlock. You go and stay in there until the next day. I'm telling you, we're heading towards it.
No, it's true.
It's bad.
It's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad.
One more thing before I go. What happened to Siobhan? I'm trying to remember the one who talk on finance all the way.
Yes, it is Siobhan. Siobhan Cameron. I see YouTubers asking for him. Siobhan is on a long leave. He should be back next week. Yes, next week. He bad me up for signing the leave paper. So I did sign it and he's off. Yes, he went off on 3 weeks leave. So he'll be back, man. He's okay, but he's well though. Yeah.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself, Cleveland. I'll go. Jacqueline Thomas in the YouTube, she big us up a couple times. Because I said, Jacqueline, has a call to somebody YouTuber. Sometimes they're trying to look, but them can't. YouTubers can't type. No, you know. The people are active, you know. Active.
A very active community. Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. That's the YouTube community. Go on over there and join them. So for those of you asking about Siobhan, he's good, man. He's just on leave. He should be back next week.
They say it looked very long.
Yeah, man. It's long. 3 weeks. He's been off for the entirety of January. So next week or the other week. But he'll be back. He's good. All right, that's all the time we have.
Before we go,
yes.
We are in graduation mode at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. I want to big up all the graduates and their parents and their families. And tomorrow, my graduation for my faculty at 4. I want to big up all my students and all the faculty members. It was a rough time for us. Last year, we had to postpone graduation ceremonies, but the team did very well with our principal, Professor Williams, and I'm really grateful, and a lot of people are very happy. So we have to big up our students.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Congratulations to all the graduates, especially my friends at Carimac.
Yes.
Who will be walking the stage tomorrow. Yeah? Dana Davey, thank you so much. Hardworking producer. Boogs, the man behind the controls. They call him, Prof, the girls, them spooks. My colleagues in the newsroom, the very best in the business, thank you all so much. Yeah. All our callers, contributors, and your valued listeners. We appreciate you so much. YouTubers, big up yourself. Thank you for the company. This has been Nationwide at 5 for tonight, indeed for this week. We'll do it all over again starting Monday. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Professor Donna Hope. Have a great weekend.
Every day brings its own pressure. Noise, bills, stress. The things that weigh us down and affect our well-being. That's why Nationwide 90 FM has created Wellness, a daily program designed to guide your focus on your physical, mental, emotional, and financial health. Real conversations, trusted experts, practical advice. No judgment and no quick fixes. Just meaningful steps towards better living. Wellness. Weeknights from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Only on Nationwide 90 FM. Because progress is a process. It happens one day at a time.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing. Nationwide 90 FM's new